What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe, and welcome back to another fantastic day with your boy Scribble. How are you all doing today? How the devil are we? Why, oh why do we have such things as Sundays? Sundays leading on to a Monday workday is not an ideal scenario to find ourselves in. How are we, guys? We've got Thrawny, we got Fives and Echo, the dynamic duo themselves. How you doing, brother? We got Boldman, we got Beauty, we got Wolfman, we got Lord Megatron. Kimmy, how are you doing? There's a couple of people in. FN, how are you? How the devil are we all today? Are we all good? Are we all golden? Are we all beautiful? I hope so. I'm doing well, thank you, FN. I'm doing very well. Thanks very much. Put the old charger in my PlayStation 5 controller. I've been trying, when I have a little bit of spare time, to play some Final Fantasy VII. The remake, not the new one, because I haven't played the first one. So, trying to get the time to go through that. I'm probably about 10 hours in or something by now. Top of the afternoon. Well, it's 8 PM where I am, so it's evening. Evening for me, but afternoon to you, good sir. How did your first set of TWs go? Smashed it, bruv. Smashed it. Haven't lost. Amazing. Better if the Jedi Cal event. It'll come back. It'll come back. Don't you worry. You know what I mean? It'll be this month. The original was epic. Spent like 1,000 hours in FF7. You mean the actual original game? I, of course, have spent... I've no idea how many hundreds of hours playing Final Fantasy VII, the original game. But I've obviously played that a lot. I just never got through the remake. So I'm trying to do that now. On the PlayStation 1, of course, yep. Of course. That's what I've been trying. Well, not the original, because I've had countless 100-hour plus saves of Final Fantasy VII over the years, and Final Fantasy VIII, and Final Fantasy IX, and Final Fantasy X. The list goes on and on. Used to love Final Fantasy games, man. They used to be my thing. All about that thing, you know what I mean? It's all about that junk in the trunk. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Never got into Final Fantasy, but did enjoy Parasite Eve. Parasite Eve was a very interesting game. I didn't play that until much later. I think I played it on an emulator at some point. Parasite Eve was more similar to Vagrant Story in game style. What am I working on? Right now, we are in a holding pattern. So obviously tomorrow, this time tomorrow, we will have Darth Bane unlocked, which I'm very excited for. Connection has been lost. Excuse me a moment while we reboot into the game. One moment. Hello, Mrs. Scribbles.
Hello.
Thank you, baby. Yeah, I'm holding pattern, waiting for Darth Bane to go live. We'll take Darth Bane up to Relic 8 straight away. After that, it's all in on the Gungans, baby. All in on them Gungaroos. You need a distraction from dealing with the HMRC this week. Oh, Bodhi, why are you having to deal with the HMRC, dude? I can see that Ryrock is asking for a treats for the Smudgy Bear and the Yanda Cats. We'll get that in a second. Hype for Bane. Yeah, me too, dude. It's going to be sick. You secured Red Crate last night. Good business. We should have a kit reveal this week. I feel like we will get a kit reveal for Senor Tarples. Tarples. We should get him this week. So, look, I'm very close to hitting this. Blue, 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 blue. Which will mean... we should be able to take him to 5 stars in the event, and then if it's exactly the same as the normal marquees that we've been having for Boss Nass, we should have him at 6 stars by the end of the event. So I'm going to be doing more roster reviews, obviously, on Tuesday and Thursday, which should line up quite well to try and get us over the line. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. Because I really want to be able to jump on those Gungans as soon as possible. You're 11 key cards away from the 45 crate? 450? The downside of being an accountant. I mean, what are you doing? Annual returns? Annual returns at this point? HMRC wouldn't have the annual returns, would they? Surely it would be FCA or something like that. Your annual returns would go to. What's up, Wolfie? I do. I want to be riding Gungans, Wolfie. That's what I want. Thank you so much, Bob. Appreciate you. I think Jedi Knight Caliban is like GI. The next time he returns, he'll be returned permanently. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It's not a year yet since Cal came out, is it? That'll be like June period. Anal returns. Anal returns are important. Yes, they are. What's going on, Wolfie? What's going on, Wolfie? Let me know when you're chilling in the chat. Chilling in the chat, and we can get crack-a-lacking. End of June. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're getting Cal this month, guys. It's as simple as that. We're getting Cal this month. Jedi Knight Cal will come back, and then he'll disappear for another 3 months, and then we'll get him, and he'll be permanently in the guide. Arguing over tax relief. They're being difficult, or their systems are. That's fair, Bodhi. I was trying to join the dots. I don't really deal very much with the HMRC. I should have clicked that it would be something to do with tax. Yeah, it's good business, man. It's good business. Let's check the old store over here. Yeah. I did wonder. I always like to have audio. I don't know about you guys, but I like hearing the little clickety-clacks as I go through the various areas. So yeah, our raid is currently live, but I haven't done my damage yet because it's still got plenty of days left on it. I'm looking forward to getting a bunch of additional currency once again, so that I can spend it getting ready for Marquees. Marquees! We've got so many Marquees. Might just get that. Might just get that. I should, if we're taking a look at my Swigger Events gear page, I've got this set up to just be Darth Bane and Boss Nass at the moment, because those are the only characters I'm working on, because Tarples isn't in the game yet, so I can't really work on him. So far, I just need some signal data, and I need 34 more of the computer chirotechs, so I'm happy about that. Obviously, as soon as we get Tarples, this will all go to shot again, and we'll have to start from scratch. Yeah, no rush, Wolfie, no rush, dude. What's going on, Senist? How you doing? We live in a galaxy of Marquees. In the galaxy of Marquees. 10,000 people, maybe more. 10,000 Marquees, maybe more. Hey, what's going on, Caesar? You're 9 points away from the red box in Conquest and you can't do it. Oh, mate, you must be able to red box. 9 key cards away, you should be able to finish that up. Misa, pleased to be seeing you again. Hey, Jar Jar, how you doing? Marquees, 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 Marquees. Yep, we're getting a lot over the next coming months, which is exciting. He did indeed, Running Bald Man. That was back in 2018. The Galaxy of Marquees. It was good. It was good. He did good work for them. He did good work for them. Yeah. Need 69 more incomplete signal data. That's rather nice. 6 more flawed signal data. So, you know, this is fine because we're not going to 7-star Boss Nass for a while yet. We need to wait for him to come into shipments. Then we'll finish him off. I need 90 more shards of him. 90 more shards of Boss Nass and I'm done. So I don't have to worry about taking him to Relic 5 just yet. But yeah, I'm quite happy about this, because if we just remove Boss Nass from here, I need 4 incomplete signal data, which I'll get tomorrow. It's fine. We'll get that tomorrow, and then we'll be able to take him straight up to Relic 8, and I'll be a very happy little chappy. I'll just get Boss Nass back in here at Relic 5. Add it. Good business. We're not even close to Galaxy of Marquees. I mean, that year we had 28 marquees in 2018. So, if you put that in perspective, that's like 2.5 marquees a month, right? We're not really there yet. Not even Relic 9? Shake my head. No, I'm not going to take him to Relic 9. It's a bit of a waste. And the Geos just go, fuck you, motherfucker! And they die. Hey, Wolfie, take it for 100 bits. I have a feeling that Wolfie might well be inside of the voice chat right about now. What is going on with that? Why is it duplicating up my chat page at the minute? I didn't realize it was doing that. Bear with me. There we go. That's better. We seem to have Wolfie in Discord, so let's go ahead and... Oh, and we've got Carthrick.
It was well timed. It was well
Hello, you two. How are we?
Very well. Killing bugs for democracy.
Oh, no. Carthrick is going to be distracted.
Marquees. Anyways.
Oh, that was beautiful, Wolfie. That was beautiful. Slaying it. How are we, gentlemen?
We're chilling.
Like villains?
How about yourself?
I'm good. I've had a really nice day, so.
Allegedly like a villain. Can neither confirm nor deny. Nor would I.
I mean, wouldn't say I'm a villain.
To some people,
Lean on a little bit heavier there. Jeez, it's all about your point of view.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only a villain from the perspective
in my opinion,
of
the Jedi are evil.
I've been dunking on little small accounts all weekend.
Apart from Pimpo.
Well, that'd be not on the alt. The alt's a little bit more like comparatively in where it should be.
How did that Pimpo GAC matchup go?
Oh, awful! I got caught out on the SRP issue with Inquisitor counter, and so I dropped the battle, and then it was over from there. I mean, there was nothing else I could do to stop it, and then I tried to use Starkiller versus his Dash Bam team, and I didn't check the cron, and so when I used Mara Jade's opening grenade, every 4 out of 5 deflected.
Oh no!
Yeah, so no debuffs, no turn meter, no control, just all shit.
Nice.
I'm like, yay! This was fun. So that lost promptly. So I was down 2 battles going into fleets, and so and then he had triple meta fleet defense.
Oh, nice.
And so I just looked at that and go, if he clears fleet, I ain't gonna try.
Yeah.
Because that's my only saving grace now is if my fleets are able to do anything useful, which they were not, because he's in Caw Patrol and he's very well versed in these off meta counters. So he beat me with like 1827. I was like, nope, not even gonna try. I can't even come close to 18 with my current drop rate. So no, bye. See you later. Well, keep going.
I'm glad it's not just me sometimes losing. That's good.
Yeah, well, yeah. Except for you dunked on your 13 million GP player.
I did, actually. It wasn't a very banner efficient win, but he dropped 2 battles and I dropped no battles, so I'll take it.
But see, that's what I usually like about 5v5 is it's harder to be more efficient because it's like if you want to make sure you one tap, you're gonna need to bring in some more characters, like using C Watt versus Seer, right? You can just take C Watt in there, but you might get screwed.
Watch out
and
for
you
Fulcrum.
might, Fulcrum might just delete you, and so you might not have a good day, and you lose. And so it's like, do you risk the banner loss? Because I mean, if you take in a full team of Sith in there, you're still probably going to lose almost everybody in the process. So it's not great for banners, but it will one tap if you take a full team of Sith in there. So pros and cons.
Yeah. It does help. It does help.
Do you get your 52, or do you try to risk for what that would be?
Do you risk
64?
it for the biscuit and potentially drop 20 plus banners?
Yeah.
It's I would rather at this point I would rather err on the side of caution and not take the riskiest of biscuits, not the riskiest of biscuits.
My main account actually has a challenging opponent for the last round, so I had to change up my defense and not be.
Again. Yay!
I had to change my defense up a little bit to be a challenge.
Yeah, I've decided still to go easy on the old defense, so I've got all the toys for offense. I'll throw in some confusing stuff on defense to hopefully sap some banners, and then
I
just
like the dark side GLs.
Grab, you know what that sounds like to me? Tribe talks.
Whoa, hold up, Wolfie.
Oh, this is pre.
Does this sound like
Tribe Talk. This is pre-Tribe Talks. This is pre-gaming.
This is the this is the foreplay to Tribe Talks.
Yeah.
Tribe Talks foreplay edition. Welcome, listeners. Welcome after the foreplay. Yeah. Excuse me.
What you did there.
I see what you did there, boy. I see it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from the worldwide holotables to another episode of Tribe Talks, episode 26, which is halfway to episode 54 and 100% of the way to episode 26. This is
Wouldn't it be 52? Sorry.
Yeah, something like that. I can math. I genuinely can math, but doing it on the fly.
The weekend, no one's paying me. Get off my back.
you exactly. You're breaking my concentration here. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, this is the podcast where we sometimes maybe talk a little bit Galaxy of Heroes. Only sometimes, occasionally, and nothing else. Thank you, Shorka, for 100 biddies. You had me at foreplay. Oh god, saucy. Thank you so much, Shorka. Appreciate you, brother. We had some stuff.
Not even going to make it to the 8-second ride, I see.
No. 8 seconds are overrated, to be honest. 3.5, that half counts, I've been told.
Yep.
Are we talking about seconds or something else? Who knows? So, gents, how are we? Have we had a nice week?
I mean, it's been pretty chill. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
TW week, so you throw it in the straight up don't give a shit mode.
Don't give a hoot. I mean, I won both my TWs, and
so did I.
Had a good time doing it too. So I'm a happy little chappy.
Our second opponent threw down a complete FU defense.
Nice.
Had every single one of their Jabba's, Lord Vader's, JMKs, and Rays in the front two zones.
So they didn't clear many zones.
Well, yeah, the only thing they got through after 12 hours was our Reva zone.
Nice.
And then they never cleared JMK. They only got about half of that zone down. So I think that's their whole strategy, is they're praying their opponents don't put down a good defense and they can get through it with their 2 or 3 GLs they save for offense.
It's not the approach that I would take, but each to their own.
I mean,
it's a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
It is a strategy. That is the facts.
It didn't work out for them, Cotton. It didn't work out.
No, not in this particular go of things.
No,
but I'll take my free 5 droid brains.
Yes, and the 3 Zeta mats, which honestly at this point I prefer.
For you, that's important. I'm
more
sitting
valuable than the freaking droid brains at this point. So I'm in the same boat as you, Scribe. I'm sitting there like, I might be able to put a second Zeta on Bane. I'm not sure.
I'm getting real close, Wolfie. I'm getting real close. I'm at like 33 or something like that. I'm like, yes, I'm practically drowning in Zetas at this point. Come on, baby.
Ooh, I got you beat. I'm at 36. Get good.
Holy moly. God damn it. Okay, quickly, let's go and wail on some Zeta mats. Can't have Wolfie beating me and things. Although that being said, oh no, hold up. I was wrong. I just need to spend my ability my fleet materials, and I've got 40. I've got 2 Zetas. I'm ready for double Zeta Bane. Oh, God.
Well, luckily all you need is 2, because you don't need to Zeta his leadership.
All you need is 2.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day. It's really nice, unless you're actually planning on using him as the lead, then that one can just be entirely freaking skipped. The only really important Omicron is the Rule of 2 one, and then if you want to put the other special on there, you can. I'm probably going to just the what do you call it? The one that does like the extra health damage and the extra all that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I forget which one it is.
I can't remember the names.
Increase the siphoned by a little bit. Yeah, there's like another whirlwind, I think. Doesn't Bane also have a whirlwind? That's like the third or fourth whirlwind in the game.
We've got a lot of whirlwinds in the game. It's
Bane,
like Fulcrum and Ray and...
This is malevolent. Yeah.
It's Bane's unique, and then the essence of dominance is the two armies that I would
essence of
push
dominance.
to. That's great.
Daddy Bane.
Rule of 2 is like hard required for him. Essence of dominance would be, I think, is going to be like
you just gotta have
but
you gotta have
useful.
Darth Bane with Darth Talon. That essence of dominance.
I mean, that could be an interesting duo, but I don't know if it'd be worth it.
I don't think he was seriously suggesting.
No, we're getting into fan fiction material here.
I don't think this was an in-game suggestion.
I mean, I just listen. I saw what Savage and Bane do, so I mean,
that was cool.
I'm open to the idea of options. Like I said, it's just that you need to have. It'll be nice to know how to split him when you can, because it's like if you can 2-man of a Zori team,
yes,
and then still take C to solo a gas team, like you're still way up. So it's like in my head, it's like it's just good information to have in case you want to split some stuff later.
I'm hoping he's as diverse and useful as he sounds on paper, because I can honestly see it becoming he's just going to have like a number of very useful high banner efficiency counters available to him that most people are just not going to end up using him with C, and C's just going to stick with Watt forever. It's just like, we tried,
but the
guys,
thing is
we tried
too
so
is
many
that
times.
Like you gotta. The other thing that I'm looking at is like how many players don't need to worry about where Watt is because they don't have Trench in a position that's useful.
The thing is even when you've got Trench in a decent position, I'm still struggling to justify using Watt with him, because mine's Relic 7. I've got the whole team decent relics, well modded, but I feel like even with Watt in that team, it doesn't offer enough to warrant putting Watt in it. It's like, I might as well just keep
like we talked about last week. The Separatist team needs some Omicrons to support them in GAC, because you miss so much from Trench's kit being so TW heavy that it's just like you can't really get around the fact that they're missing so many stats, so much mastery increase, so many uniques that just kind of click in better with how the kits work. So it's really unfortunate, but maybe that's their plan, and we'll get Bane, then they'll start dropping some Amis with the Gungans on Separatist units.
What's your thoughts, Wolfie, on using Bane outside of C?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I was saying the other day, I want to do as much screwing around as possible and see what the hell we can use with him. I have from the beginning said I think it's absolutely ridiculous that C is the one they intend to go with Bane. Bane started the rule of 2, and C is the one who crashed Bane's millennia-long plan down to nothing.
Yeah, but who's the Galactic Legend? Come on. Who's the Galactic Legend?
And I think it's an insult to Bane over there. So I said beginning.
Yeah.
Have said I think it's an insult to Bane that he's sitting there under Sith Eternal Emperor.
Well, he's like, I will die on this hill.
Yeah, I'm
technically, Bane is part of C, because C is all the Sith.
Allegedly. I don't know. It depends.
Yeah.
If you look at the
that is yet to be confirmed.
The ultimate ability says I am all the Sith. So clearly he means Bane.
But
so Bane is double dipping.
In the books, he tried for the Ritual of Essence transfer over there, and he failed, and his entire essence was destroyed. So Bane is no more. He officially does not actually exist. Yeah, I know. It sucks. I know Disney ruined the canon by when they brought him back, and they had him Yoda talk to his spirit and whatnot. But you know what? Screw Disney. What are we talking about?
They don't know what they're talking.
That's how it feels some days, I'll be honest with you.
I'm actually looking forward to Bane going around with some different other characters and seeing what he can do, even if it's somebody as distasteful as Savage.
I mean, but we've already distasteful. Savage with his Omicron is so powerful. It's like he's such a powerhouse unit.
Oh yeah.
I want more characters like him, where we just take a shit character that has interesting like dynamics, and then we throw an Omicron on that really exemplifies that to give it the survivability that it needs, and then double down on just being a ridiculous monster. Because I mean, yeah, dude, I would take it. I would take something like that for a GR support Jedi. Like, oh my god, that would be so much fun. Make Qui-Gon teams even more terrifying.
They need more help.
I mean, they do and they don't, all in the same boat, right?
Well, you know, Qui-Gon Jinn with Jedi Knight Anakin and Cam and Keller and Beck just isn't enough.
Well, yeah, mostly because Keller and Beck doesn't have the same vibe in GAC that he has in TW. Him leading and giving all that additional offense is just nuts. Yeah, just nuts. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like giving Cam and Anakin like 200% offense is just like, if they crit, they kill. Yeah. Like I've watched Cam basic, but like with a double tap, right, for like 200k a piece.
Well, let's not forget the defense against, he passes.
Yeah,
well.
Yeah.
And then also gives them, what is it, 500% defense or something stupid like that? I can't remember.
As long as he has protection, it might be just all the time though. I don't remember.
I can't recall.
Let me just pull the leadership up and read it. While he's active. While he's active, allies have 500% defense.
It's just a little bit.
And while another ally has protection, Kelleran can't be defeated.
Yeah. He's a real pain in the tush.
Honestly though, like from what I've seen in testing so far, the Kelleran team on defense is like there is a very select few of non-GL counters that stand a chance. Mm-hmm. And then basically after that, it's you got to GL it.
Yeah.
Which just humors me to no end that's where that team landed. Mm-hmm. It's like it's going to be one of them. And give it a couple more months for most guilds to get Kelleran farmable and online. And I guarantee you, it will probably be one of the most common TW teams. You're just going to be like, well, that's what Slacker's doing. Killing Kelleran.
That's where we're going. So just to interrupt ever so briefly to everybody within the chats that are currently live right now, make sure you head over to my Discord and enter in some questions. If you have any questions for the hosts of your show this evening, into the Tribe Talks question there, and we will endeavor to get those answered in a timely and organized fashion, maybe at some point, one of the streams, who knows. Make sure you do that. Head on over to the Discord. Thank you kindly. So Keller and Beck, I've only ever used him on offense actually in TW. So
really,
and like Karth, I'm not really. Sorry, say again, Wolf.
So what's the most fun thing you've blown up with him?
Nothing really. Like most of the time it's been like, oh, we're gonna go up against like a General Grievous team or something like that. So it's like it's okay, but it's like
you have the team, but there's nothing that it really kind of clearly wins against yet. And then the first 4 zones in most TWs are GLs anyways, which is Omicron is shut off for. So you can't use him against that anyways. So it just depends on what you can, but you can blow up Rivas if you ever get to Rivas. I know that.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, our current Datacron set is ruining the greatest Reaver counter of Phoenix, because Phoenix just get absolutely shut down completely by doubt.
It's locking up Malgus a little bit too.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Well, it's not the doubt part of it though. It's the 400% offense and then the losing of the defense. The AoEs, if they're modded well enough, can kill off Bastila and Talon before you really ever take a turn.
That's always fun.
Him getting a doubt and not being able to taunt,
Yeah, that's really annoying.
That's the part that really gets you too, because then they pick off everyone but Malik and
Yeah.
And then you can't
it's like
recover.
They know as well. It's like they know. Yeah. They deliberately don't attack. Like you've got 2 really chunky Sith, and they've gotten rid of the taunt. They're like, we're definitely not going to hit those. I'm just going to hit DR.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it, stop it.
which then like really handicaps your Malgus because he'll
equalize health.
Equalize health off of him. And so Malgus goes from like 200k to 100k and like Revan gains like 30k health, and you're like, boo.
Damn it. I don't like this no more. Yeah, it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. But hey, is what it is. Is what it is. So, we didn't really have much news this week in terms of a Galaxy of Heroes, did we? This is our kind of our in-between week between Boss Nass and hopefully Tarples this coming week.
Yes.
I'm still expecting Tarples this week. What about you guys?
I think
I would be wildly surprised if he didn't show up.
Yeah.
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 This is probably going to be the week, so get those roster reviews in.
We're trying. We're trying to raise up money for the charity of Scribble is bald and wants Gungans. Going one roster review at a time, baby, seeing if we can hit that magical number. I'm hoping we can get him to 6 stars. You know, if we're very lucky, we'll be able to push further. But I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised.
I
if we get
mean,
further than that.
Just going to get that 330 drop.
Did
Yeah,
you get
just need
Boss
it-
Nass to
6.
6 stars?
Yeah.
By the end? I mean, if you just kind of plan that out, though, by the time they launch, for the most part, you can... I mean, it'll take you less than half a vault to finish each character off.
Yep.
So you'd only... Well, it's still
You need
2 vaults to finish.
Well, yeah. I think to get 85 shards from weekly shipments, it's like
6,800 crystal.
Yeah.
6,800.
So yeah, that's a vault to get 3 of them done. A vault and then some.
You get like 16 and a half if you buy a vault from the web store. So you'll get almost 3 done for that. And then you would need to buy either a half a vault or another full vault for the last one.
Yeah.
And that's not including all the other gear and shit that you still need for them.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I've been using the Swigger Events gear tracker. And so far, I'm okay to relocate Bane tomorrow. And then I need like 35 computer chirotechs to do Boss Nass. And then I'll need a little bit more signal data, but that's okay. But as soon as Tarples comes out, it'll be like, oh, you need 550 more chirotech, and you need...
Everything's in the red!
you have nothing, sir. Good day.
You lose. Good day, sir.
Yeah.
My gear hoard
I
is
had to do the
basically
same... Had to do the same thing for the alt. I ran what it would take to get Bane, Kelleran, IG-12, and Bo-Katan, all the R7.
Ooh, all at once.
Yeah, well, that's what's gonna happen, because I'm gonna get Bane. Basically, I'll get Bane tomorrow on the alt, and then I'm gonna ride out the other account because I want to buy as few shards as possible for Kelleran Beck. I'm 11 shards on Grogu away from
So you need
7
full
stars,
85.
so I don't need to worry about that. Kelleran is 50-ish out of 100. So it's not gonna.
Okay.
If I get lucky on drop rate, I might be able to get it for free.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you would need, because it's on is it the 10th she's coming back? I can't remember.
yeah. So I've got literally 7 days from now until
In case
then.
anyone was concerned. Oh yeah, seriously, we can say we didn't have big news over there. There was a huge news. Everyone was concerned about when everyone's like, it's the most worried, most talked about legendary of all time.
Yeah.
When it was going to come back, and we got confirmation, guys.
I'll be honest.
Is coming back.
I'll be honest with you, Scribe.
Yeah.
Like your clickbait video. I mean, dude, I was I knew exactly where you're going with it, but the way you just kind of leaned into describing Cal, but then it's Bo-Katan. Who needs Cal? You got this other redhead.
Yeah, exactly.
Hair's the same length depending on how you played Jedi Survivor. You know, if you rock the shag in Jedi Survivor, the hair's about the same length.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, I got death threats for those videos, so they're like, you lie. I didn't really, guys. Don't take that seriously. I have yet to receive a death threat.
I mean.
One day.
The idea is that he will return in March because of the bonus calendar.
Yep.
I'm actually hoping, because you were speculating that we might still get Separatist units. I'm hoping that the B2 being the login means we're going to get Separatist Omnis. That's what I'm hoping for. Because that's what we need more than more units. Because I don't know what we'd do with more units. We already have too many where we can't get another team out of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
we asked for more Separatist units to go with Trench.
that's what I want.
We need more Separatists.
I mean, I
needs
won't
more
argue
separatists.
with you, but we could use Amis for the separatist team and for the trench team, and that would
That too.
bridge
just
most of the gap.
Give it to Dooku or give it to Newt. Give it to Newt. Yes, please. I want Newt.
Give it to what? I like the one I had for what that made
Okay,
me
but
happy.
if it goes to what, it needs to be only if Trench is the leader, because otherwise,
Yeah,
it's just
100%.
all kinds of busted.
If the leader is separatist, they can do that.
Yeah.
Then you can have some real fun with it. But
If the leader is a non-droid separatist ally,
that would be half of how Trench Kit is worded.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
The problem with that, that's exactly what the problem with Trench's kit is, though, is that it severely hampers the characters that can go with him. Yeah. Because they have to be a non-droid separatist, and even then, he kind of shuts out the Geonosians pretty well too. So it's they've boxed him in pretty hard to have flexibility.
It's like, we want you to use this particular team of separatists, but it would take too long for us to say, if the team consists of Trench, Dooku, Django, Newt, then the following occurs. And what, sorry. Yeah, that's just...
So they do love the prescribed teams.
Yep, they certainly do. They certainly do. I still quite occasionally run Trench with GBA. I find if you can't have what, GBA is probably the next best option for a Trench team. Just, extra unit, pre-taunting tank. Why not? It's good business. But then again, that's just the way I roll it. It's just the way I roll it. Yeah.
I would love for them to find a way to make Trench able to either have, because like if they went to Newt, what I would like for Newt to do is to either like immediately inflict the entire team with extortion,
is great.
Or the tech, you're allowed to put the tech out because that gives you the speed bonus you need. Because Newt starts a bonus turn. The first time he uses this, he inflicts every enemy with extortion. Then you get plus 50% speed. Just like, it would be so nutty because then you would only you'd have to use CLS or try to counter that to get Newt out before he does anything. But he dies, takes a bonus turn, comes back. Yeah, fun. It'd be good. I just want something that makes the Trench team viable. That's all I care about. It's not bad. It's just not great in GAC versus most of what we do enough,
unfortunately. In TW, it's fine, but that's because of Ommis. And I don't like teams to be fine just because of Ommis.
I want more Dark Trooper Moff Gideon type teams where they are fantastic in GAC and then they just absolutely crush in TW.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many things that he can beat down on TW. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I unfortunately haven't had an opportunity to properly use him. Like, my guild calls for DTMG all the time. But
you don't have the Ommis.
I don't have the Ommis, no. But not only that, I don't even have his leader Zeta. So it's kind of like...
Even without the Omni, with the Datacron, I still managed to beat down a Jabba team. Like,
nice.
It still does some good work.
That was because DTMG was able to beat Jabba with the last Datacron set before this one came online with the same unique bonus. You just start hitting so hard. Yeah, that 400% offense from and then losing half your defense is just, it's so powerful because you're so much faster than them, and so it's like Stormtrooper is just doming Bausch for 200k. It's like, well, there goes that. Scout Trooper is just sniping somebody with a pistol for like 190k damage. You're like,
it is a lot of fun when you get those defense to offense Datacrons, because it just makes like obscure tanks just all of a sudden be a real threat. Like, Stormtrooper. Oh my god.
Low key surprised they didn't put that one for the Mandalorians.
Yeah, true. Because they've got a lot.
Think of that with BAMs.
Oh my god, whistling birds.
He would delete a GL full health team. I mean, he just needs to get to 20 stacks, and he would delete everybody.
He pretty much can. I mean, he can't. He can kill. Like, I've killed just straight up Lord Vader with stacks of 20 whistling birds. Just like completely deletes him, which is always fun to see. But again, it's usually a team that requires stuff like, you've got to throw Cat in the team, and it's like it's obviously it's fun to do, but it's not exactly an efficient team to be using.
Yeah, it's actually one thing I'm not really surprised that we don't see it, because it's such it carves up too many teams. But
yeah,
Bam and Cat under Ray, I've seen it in the arena, and it's so nasty. Like Bam just like, hey, by the way, everyone died. That's the story.
Yeah.
I get to my 20 stacks, and I'm going to delete probably 3 out of the 5 of you.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
okay then, okay.
Then Ray carries the rest of the fight with an ultimate and kills the last 2.
Well, exactly. I mean, yeah, you don't like Ray with Cat alone is still pretty nasty. So, that's a lot of extra stats that you're throwing her way. So those whirlwinds and those ults are gonna hurt.
Yeah, to those super birds over there on Bam.
Oh yeah.
God.
I do miss the days of the dash level 9, just taking bonus turns every turn, doing 100% more damage. I remember those days.
Dash for 0 speed, so he could just like blast people in the fucking face.
Max offense, your dash. No other stat matters.
Yeah,
that's it.
I remember that.
He was just wrecking face. Oh my god.
Yep.
That was a fun cron. It was horrific to face. It was
you could do some crazy stuffs with that. You could do crazy stuffs. A lot of fun, but that's
fun crons over the years.
That's the good part of Datacrons, I feel, is when you get to have those fun kind of interactions that just make either rubbish characters lots of fun, or just kind of okay characters really good. So, because Dash is, I wouldn't call Dash a phenomenal character or a phenomenal team even at this point. It's just kind of good. It's decent. But then you throw a cron like that at his way, and you're like, oh my lord, oh lordy, it's getting busy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Suddenly you put that on defense, and it's like, okay, so which GL is going to go kill this now? Which GL can kill this now? Who is not going to die? Yeah, a lot of good things. But then also, you know, like you said, throw that on a raid team with Bam or with L3 and somebody on there. There's a lot of fun teams you can do with Ray.
Yeah. I really haven't. Unfortunately, I haven't made the best use out of Bam, because I have Bam's Datacron, right? And I haven't really used it at all. I really should be taking advantage of that. Really should, because it's a good cron.
Yeah, I've got it on defense right now with Dash and crew.
Not Kylo Ren unmasked. Yeah.
No,
not that crew.
CREW.
Like the crew, the lads, Dash and the lads. That sounds like a band, doesn't it? It's
Dash and the prepared.
Next up on stage, it's Dash and the lads with their song "Be Prepared."
Exactly. Exactly.
It's so from the Lion King. It's a great song.
I throw him there just because it requires either technical knowledge on how to beat it, or it requires a good team. So I'm happy for people to burn something useful there.
It's one of those things, isn't it? Like with that current Datacron set, it's like you better hope that Bam doesn't go into Whistling Bird stance, because things are probably going to hurt you. If he does, you want to try and like trigger his bonus turn as quickly as possible, so that he's only got like 7 Whistling Birds instead of 20, because 20 means you're going to lose units at this point.
Oh yeah, many units. Well, and like even
which ones and how many.
Yeah, even depending on which ones you're using, you have to be careful on how you deal with them, because if you can't kill him fast enough, which is so hard, if he's got the bonus turn on level 6 and he's and you barely plink him below 100% health, he takes a bonus turn, and then if you plink him below 70%, he takes another bonus turn, and so it's like he might DI on the first one, but the second one he's definitely going to be throwing the birds down. You're like, son. So it
was usually the DI over there, and then he goes to the birds, and you're just like, oh, no, I'm just sad.
Yep. Now I'm just going to take it in the short. So it's like for me, when I had to face it 2 GACs ago, I used JML, and then I had to just keep waving him down. I'm like, you just reduce your cooldowns. You get out of here.
No turns for you. Come on.
Yeah, no turns for you. We're going to use Revan with the JML team, so you can push your turn meter back and push your cooldowns back again. Oh, it was so heavy-handed, man. But I didn't care. It's like it blew out my Starkiller team in about a minute. So I was like, yeah, we're just gonna make sure this dies.
Yeah, sometimes that's more important. It's definitely what I'm trying to adjust to, because we were talking in the full play session of the stream, sort of different approaches to GAC, and I'm going light at the minute on defense, but sometimes it takes because I've gone pretty heavy defense for the longest time. It's hard for me to think that it's okay for me to overkill things because I have so much. Like in round 1, I finished off clearing the board, and I'm like, okay, I still have like Malakos, I still have
right,
like 3 or 4 top tier teams, and I'm like, I did not play this right. I could have just overkilled a bunch of stuff for much better banners, maybe not lost a battle or 2, and then that could have changed the outcome. So yeah, I need to start having some more fun.
Yeah, that's the thing when I play heavy offense. It's like you start having to shift your mentality about, like, it's not just about clearing, it's about high banner clearing.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, I need to overkill, but I need to overkill smartly.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to balance back and forth on that. And it takes some adjusting, but usually for the first week of every GAC season, I usually run really heavy. Mm-hmm. And then we kind of see what works and what doesn't, and then we adjust from there.
Yeah.
And then go lighter and lighter, because you'll find out which non-GL teams are doing well on defense in the current Datacron set, and that lets you know which ones to throw back down on defense. It's
actually curious. What I might do to test to see if people actually scout me is I won't change my front wall defense at all, but I'll just back wall the back wall full of GLs. I'll be like, haha, surprise! And I'll be like, oh
yeah, no. that might be the strategy I'm running this next TW that starts, or GAC that starts in an hour and 15 minutes.
Woohoo!
I'm like, hey, front wall, look at this lowly little team of teams that you should probably use. You just burn your GLs on because they're nothing there.
They're just too good.
There. Yeah, I mean, DTMG, burn a GL. Chase, burn a GL. Dash, burn a GL. It's like, don't worry about it. You're gonna be fine. There's only one GL on the entire board, and they're gonna open the back wall and be like, oh shit.
There's only one GL stood next to every other GL on the back wall.
Yeah, there's only one GL you can see. There's just happens to be 3 more in the back wall.
Yeah, that's right.
Of course, this day and age, there's so many off GL counters that through all the Datacrons and everything, that it's almost like I'm almost more inclined to use GLs on the regular teams just to overkill them because they're all complicated and shit, and then use like the off meta counters on the GLs because they can, like Bo. It works great against.
That's another one.
Like Lord Vader right now.
I really need to educate myself more about Bo. I've had her for a while now, and I've had a Datacron, and there's always a case of, I could probably use this, but I'm not like clued up enough to know all the various teams that she can counter, because she can counter a lot. So I just end up thinking, can she counter this? I don't actually know. So then I end up not using it.
As long as it's kind of like playing the Radis team a little bit, right? You just have to learn when to use certain abilities. Like with Bo, especially with the Kron giving her the bonus turn.
Yeah, when do you use her basic?
Well, you use her basic till you kill everybody, but the thing is you want to save her mass assist until like after a daze comes out, or if you're going to cleanse everything off. So like if you're going against Lord Vader, you'll kill everybody down, but then you armor shred first instead of calling them mass assist, because Vader hasn't taken a turn yet. So the first thing he's going to do is put down a ton of dots and daze you.
Yep.
So unless you have the Omicron on Bo that allows her to be immune to daze, then you're just locked up doing nothing for a few turns until you can get back to Bo and cleanse it. And so like it's just a little bit of order of operations kind of thing. The Datacron is really kind of messing that up, because you're getting that bonus turn out the rip. You're getting a bonus turn every time someone's defeated, so it kind of circles back a little weird compared to like how most people have their teams modded, which is Bo kind of moves after Bam
after a few things are set up, so Bam gets his birds out and whatnot. But
so that's kind of.
I genuinely don't think I've ever used Bo-Katan without that Datacron, so I'm going to be so confused when it goes. I'll be like, wait, what? Why don't I get my starting turn?
Yeah, but
before she got the Kron, I was able to kill JMK teams without too much trouble. So I mean, she does very good work without the.
with her Ami, she's designed to counter JMK, and she'll counter JMK better when the set 12 Kron drops, because then Paz can revive, which is a whole one of the Amis that you can't use right now.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, oh, yeah, wouldn't it be really cool? You're like, yeah, it'd be great. And they're like, yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, not right now.
But just nah. But
yeah.
But I was in my kit. No, not this time. It's not. I'm sorry. Yeah,
So
I still only have one Omi on her as well, so I need to get at least one more.
You got,
at the unique
2.5 seasons left to get the other Amis sorted.
I'll let the Datacron carry me for the time being. So
you might need to do some refreshing on your crap. What is it? The Galactic. What is that event called?
Oh, Ultimate Journey.
Galactic Legend. The Ultimate Journey. Yeah.
I still maintain that Ultimate Journey is the most uncreative name for an event that they've ever done. It's the Ultimate Journey, because you go on a journey of ultimate beings.
It would be better if the subtitle was the title. Like it says Ultimate Journey Event, Galactic Legend Event. It should just say Galactic Legend Event. It's the Ultimate Journey. Just like that would be a better way to phrase it, because it's like you can only use GLs in the entire thing, so it's not like it's anything else.
Can you use GLs? Do you need the ultimate to use the GL in it, or can you do it without the ultimate?
You can do it without.
There are some that you couldn't do
without the ultimate.
No, there are some that you couldn't do without the ultimate.
Misnomer, damn it!
You tricked me, CJ.
They lied.
I would say you would really struggle to win Slacker versus Ray without the ult.
Able to enter the battle. Able to actually compete without.
I don't think that's a requirement. I think it's just the GLs at a certain relic level.
So it's not really the ultimate.
It's just they couldn't think of an idea of what to call it, so they're just like the Ultimate Journey, which sounds a little bit like. A small indie company in China has decided to make a microtransaction gacha game. That's the name of the game. It's Ultimate Journey, Quest for the Golden Apple.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collect heroes to defeat the baddie and then give us lots of money.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
And then we'll shut down in 6 months because we didn't have something or
Hashtag
whatever.
No refunds. Sorry, are we still talking about a Chinese game company? Or are we talking about Lotro? Not Lotro, Home.
Home. That's. They were in beta for how long, though? They were in beta for 6-9 months?
Yeah, and then they completely reset everything when they left beta.
Yeah, which was understandable, but also like a crock of shit, because there was so much more in the beta than there was in the real game.
But not only that, could you imagine if they did that with Swigger? Say you were playing Swigger for 6 months, and they're like, okay, beta's over, we're going to reset everyone's accounts, and you just basically wasted 6 months of your life. I would just be like, God damn. Yeah. I don't want to do this all again.
Some form of compensation for being a part of the beta program, then I would say that it's you go in knowing ahead of time that they're going to wipe the servers. Yeah. I would just be a bigger proponent if during beta programs they just let the packs cost nothing. You can only just buy one a day, and so that way you can get the ability to test everything.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. Yeah,
but then that way your account is so bloated beyond what you could reasonably have achieved in that time anyways, that you get to feel how the end game plays without having to actually spend the money to get there, and then they can get feedback on their end game content prior to the release of actual stuff.
Unless they know what their end game content is like, and they're like, we don't want people to be here, they'll leave. So we're not going to let you get to end game just yet, because there is no end game. That was pretty much home. That was home. But yeah. So, Karth.
Still glad I never got involved in that.
Yep. You would have saved yourself a whole lot of pain and hassle, Mr. Wolfie. I'm going to ask you to.
Any kits? It's wonderful. It's great. Sorry.
Oh
anyways.
yeah. No. I was just curious. I know that Karthrick has an R8 boss NAS. Yeah. But Wolfie, what did you get your boss NAS to?
Gear 11.
Nice.
And we are sitting at 5 stars.
Ah, sick. Okay, cool.
So I did not go crazy.
No. I mean, if there's one to not go crazy on, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It's the first one. There's almost zero chance that sorry. almost zero chance that it won't be farmable. Lots of double negatives. So we'll say it'll probably be farmable. By the time the Jar Jar is coming out. So I figured let's not worry as much about this one, and the rest of the ones we may go a little bit harder on. But we got the 5 stars, got that done. Gear 11, so all the crazy Chirotech crunch is already done with. So I got that out of the way. Still good for Bane. Still good for Bane for Kairos.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the most important thing, right? Got to be ready for the big thing that's coming tomorrow in less than 24 hours.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited.
Hey, Christ. I've been, like, twiddling thumbs for a week. I was, like, so hopeful last Tribe Talks that that Monday would have been the unlock for Bane.
Oh, you're like, I want Bane. Oh, I still needed time to farm more Datacrons, to be honest, but...
You need time to farm more Zetas.
You're not wrong. I mean, if CG could just drop a pack for me in the store of like 100 Zeta mats for about 100 pennies, I'd buy that one.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I'd buy that.
I'm going to have a word with Meathead, see if he can do a special Scribe Tribe pack.
I would even ship them the pennies.
Like, 100 pennies. Then, it's a one-to-one. A one-to-one.
Mail him 100 pennies.
Yeah, it will be in literal farthings. Those of you that are not from the UK,
that's what you need to do. What you need to do is you need to gift him 100 pennies that are all worth more than 1 penny.
Oh,
and then it'll be a double value.
Yeah, that would be the way.
But really obnoxious to get rid of.
Yeah, I'm going to mail him a rusty bag of pennies. That's what.
There you go.
Like, thank you for my 100 Zetas, meatbag. Meathead.
How many do I have? I think I'm just shot over 8.5.
Must be nice, eh?
How many Zetas has he not applied in the game? About 8.5.
0.
Carthrick is done with Zetas. Zetas are no longer a grind for Carthrick.
I mean, as long as I keep playing at the same pace, I'll keep accruing roughly 5 a month, and so they don't release. I mean, the only time I might get pinched a little bit is when the GL drops.
Well,
yeah, something like that possibly.
But it's like, let's assume the remaining Gungans. Let's say the Tarpals has 2, and let's say the other 2 have 1 each because they're non-named units.
Yeah.
So there's 4 more Zetas there. Then you need 3 for Bane, so there's 7. Well, you don't need 3. Let's say 2. So that's 6. Let's say both.
I think you want. We were discussing that too. If you were like super duper short on Zetas, because the basic is the revive prevent. I think that's all it really does.
Who's basic now? What now?
Bane.
Bane.
No, so it's the revive prevent, and then it's like extra damage and stuff on his basic. Ooh. Bane. His second Zeta is the basic.
Is it really?
That's cool. Yeah. If the target enemy is above 50% health, this attack will critically hit if able. If they are below 50% health, this attack deals 200% more damage. Enemies defeated by this attack cannot be revived.
Yeah.
Basics can't be revived from. That's much nicer than, a special, because you don't have to worry about cooldowns. You're like, yep, I'm a basic. It depends, though. Maybe the multiplier on his basic is trashy. Has somebody looked that up?
Can real quick.
Let's take a look.
Go to Swoga. Go to.
Yeah, his basic also has like the whole offense stacking, and then the he reduces the target's offense and everything. He's got a lot of fun things going on over there.
It's decent modifier actually. It's a 1.9.
1.9 modifier, but the base
good.
Damage on that is pretty good too. 16,118. That's at relic. That's at relic. 0, but that doesn't change.
That's nice. And like we said, he's going to be doing 200% more damage if they're below 50% health. That's just that is actually going to kill things. That is going to kill things. That is a good Zeta to have.
Well, he's got good offense too at relic 8. 8,128 damage at relic 8. That's pretty nuts for just base.
Yep. This is going to be a fun character.
I don't think he's going to break 10k unless you mod him for offense, but I don't think he's going to be worth modding for offense, to be honest. So
probably not.
Think you're going full health on him?
Yeah. I don't think he's your pseudo tank. He needs to be durable. His Omnis do help with that, right? Because his unique does give the the defense, right?
He's gonna be
Yeah.
fucking terrible as shit.
Yeah.
He gets the defense, he gets the extra health and everything. He gets the extra master. Oh, I guess the master isn't for survivability. But
I mean, it will help. I think.
Shit.
Yeah, his unique gives him 350% defense without the Omni.
Like,
Plus 75%
CG
max health
just
and protection.
like they just have this tendency of just throwing astronomically high numbers at stuff at the moment, don't they? For defense in particular, it's like Gungan has 500% defense. Keller and Beck.
But the thing of it is, though,
defense.
is that Bane's, like the majority of Bane's Omicron shuts off if he goes anywhere outside of a 2-man team.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because he gets 20% critical chance, crit damage, and health steal.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he is dazed, he gains 10% max health stacking until the end of battle. Whenever an enemy starts their turn, Bane gains 5 speed, max of 100 until the end of the battle. Mm-hmm. And then literally everything else in that block of text that college course program says at the start of the battle, if there are only one other non-summon ally present and they are Sith, then the rest of this takes effect.
Yep.
So it's
he's gonna be fun.
He's gonna be
not
lots
only
of fun.
that, but I'm waiting for whatever Datacron he gets, because he's gonna get Datacron. He's gonna get Datacron.
I'm just looking forward to a Sith Datacron set again. That's what I'm looking forward to. I miss.
Please don't make it work with Lord Vader again.
Watch. Well, the level 6 on the current Kron set is going to be way better for the Lord Vader teams.
Well, you say that, but they'll do a level 6 Sith Kron. We'll be like, oh, if you inflict X number of debuffs, you decrease your cooldowns. I'll be like, screw you, CG! I hate you!
They honestly, I don't think that would be beneficial to the Sith, because there's not a ton of debuff heavy teams compared to Empire. What? Empire is incredibly debuff heavy. Well, besides
besides
Sith Empire
and Lord Vader himself, starting each
turn.
Yeah,
but I don't count that as a Sith team. He's the only Sith most of the times on that team.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, we will go back to having Lord Vader just permanently ability block your entire team.
He will one man band most things. No, you're right.
Also doing like debuffs and stuff. So I mean,
some
debuffs, not an insane.
I wouldn't consider it to the same level as what Lord Vader and Mara Jade do, and EP and stuff like that, and Darth Vader. Those are the ones I'm thinking of when I think of the Empire getting the cooldown reduction for inflicting debuffs. Like, I'm with you. It wouldn't be fun, but it would be interesting.
I'm just hoping no more deflection.
We're not hoping this happens.
Yeah. Can we just not get dodge? That's all I want. Just no dodge. We've done deflection. It was a cute little trial. It sucks. Let's move on.
We know that the red flag is going to be if we have physical accuracy in this Datacron set, so that we know the set afterwards is going to have evasion.
It doesn't set 12 have both?
Get some.
Set 12 has both, though. It has special and physical accuracy.
Okay. Then ignore me. So
you're still not wrong. If we see accuracy, there's a good chance that CG's going to do something stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I mean, it would almost, in my head, it almost needs to have accuracy just so that we have a way to kind of turn back and deal with it, because it's going to be, well, I'll take accuracy over more dodge and deflection. Jesus Christ. Well, it's a dumb stat, but I'd at least love have the option to get to it.
Accuracy begets deflection.
I mean, you say that, but we haven't had dodge since set 4. I mean,
it's one of those things.
It took them
PTSD over it, and every time we see
I know. Oh my god.
They lulled us into a false sense of security with that, didn't
Dodge
they?
was like I want to say Dodge was probably the number one reason why players were quitting playing GAC for that 4-month period.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, I'm not going to fight people that have invested into this because it's not fun. And like, I was fighting guys that had multiple Dodge crons at like 80+%.
I remember those days. Like,
no,
when I was facing GAC characters, they might have like one cron with 80% dodge, and then they might have one or two at like 20-30%, and that would be it. But then you'd see people like you, and it'd be like, yeah, we've got 8 of them at 100% dodge. You're just like, all right, fine.
Both my front walls have Dodgecrons with at least a minimum of like 70% dodge. And you're like, cool. And all these characters have physical damage counters.
Even though, I mean, there was accuracy on that same set, so you could account for it and everything. But even then, if they had like any bit more accuracy, I don't know. It's probably to be just confirmation bias and everything. But the number of times I sent in Slacker with some accuracy, I'm like, ooh, they've only got like a 10% dodge chance. I'm probably gonna be okay, right?
It'll be fine.
And he dodges 3 times in a row, so he does no damage and can't health steal. So he just dies.
They even had the level 3 that gave you accuracy up if you missed.
Yeah.
And it still wasn't enough to counteract it, because that's what I used with Slacker to beat Lord Vader still, because they were like, we're gonna do a bunch of dodge, and you're just like, oh, this will be fun, and then you just like you watch Slacker can't lifesteal for 3 turns straight because you can't land a hit.
Yep.
And you can't stun Lord Vader, which would give you a guaranteed hit. So it's just like,
it's just the worst. It's just the worst.
Yeah, I would be a happy camper to never see dodge back in the game. Deflection, I don't like, because I think it's, again, a dumb gimmick that we don't need to make worse in the game. I already rage enough when a ship and fleet hits that natural 2% dodge rate with no evasion up. Like, that drives me absolutely sideways.
That happens so, like, executive fleets. And granted, they get evasion up, but there's so often when they don't have evasion up and they still flipping dodge.
Still dodge.
That Xanadu Blood is just like, missed me.
I have had it where I use the Profundity versus the Executor, and I use the first special on the Profundity to call the Outrider to attack IG-2000, and I've had him natural dodge both hits.
Yeah, it's so rude, man. Whereas mine just chooses not to assist. It's just like, man, it's like,
it's just like,
no
this
assist.
fight's over. Everything's done. And we don't need more of that. Like, I get it's deflection. Deflect a little bit more nuanced, because it's only stopping the special damage dealers, which there are less of in meta teams, and you can still get around them because they're not carrying everything. Like, Drogon's the main damage behind a Leia team, but Leia still deals good damage. Her ult still does good damage. Same thing with Rey. Rey deals true damage, so she doesn't give a shit.
Yep.
And on top of that, Ben's not going to be the one that makes or break the team. She still did a lot of things prior to Ben being present, so Ben not landing as many hits isn't the end of the world. But it's like, even with Mara Jade Starkiller.
I'm trying to remember.
Which one? What?
I thought some of Ben's stuff couldn't be evaded, but I'm trying to remember. I think he can be blinded and stuff. Now I'm misremembering.
I can't
There's too many goddamn kits in this fucking game.
To be fair, like, I kind of just always set Ben on defense and forget about him.
Yeah,
the only time I use Rey is in TB. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
So his AoE hit cannot be evaded.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I thought there was something I couldn't.
And his obscured cannot be evaded or resisted.
Is that the
copied or dispelled? Yeah, first special. So the only thing he can do is miss on his basic. He can just miss on his basic. Okay. That's it.
And that's like, absolutely fine, because it's not like you're terrified of that second special to just come in and delete people. Because, like, if he's attacking under protection with that, it hurts, man. Yeah. Like, people write him off, but you mod him for like 15, 16, 17,000 physical special offense. He'd go and kill people. He'd go and hurt.
It's like half the reason why I keep staring at him. I'm like, you'd make a pretty good R9, because he's a special damage dealer, so he gets about 600 offense for doing it.
Yeah, well,
so it's like,
Garthrick, have you finished all of your tanks to R9 yet?
That's no.
There you go. Let's not be silly, Garth.
I got jealous yesterday of when watching Tasnix with his Relic 8 Sith Triumvirate and Relic 9 Scion, and I was like, I want to do that.
Why can't I be cool like Tasnix?
I mean, it's the R8, it's the R9 materials that are absolutely slowing me down. It's like I can't.
Low on droid brains.
Well, I've got
made an alt and had to join your guild, and then bought yourself a bunch of packs. This is your.
But that doesn't
exactly.
Well,
yeah. Don't you have a spare 15 grand just knocking around?
Yeah. No. BRB. Hold on.
Just gonna sell the wife's wedding ring. Hold on.
Oh man, that would get me pretty close. Actually, not gonna lie.
Yeah, but you have to be alive to spend the money, Garth. Remember?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
How did he die? Well. Oh my days. Yeah. This is now evidence online. So We'll have to know. If Karth's account suddenly turns into all Relic 9s, and then he goes radio silent, I think we know why.
You know what happened?
Yeah, you will know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the droid brains are kind of what's killing me, but it's also the Gerda keypads. They're so expensive to salvage that it's just like I don't really want to. I mean, I did buy those relic packs that were out here recently.
What, the $50 ones?
Yeah, for the 30 Gerdas.
Yeah,
because it's like 60 Gerdas for $100 is still going to be. Oh my god, fast math on that. What, it's 240 pieces of.
I don't know. I never break down for Gerdas, so I use raid currency
for
mostly.
20, so times that by 3.
Yeah, I mean the raid currency is it's expensive to get the Gerdas, but I don't do enough R9s to justify wanting to break down the gear. So I'm just like,
yeah, it's still better. It's still a better use of resources though than turning up 240 furnaces.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so brutal. Like, why furnaces? Like,
yeah, well, and
so
the generators that everyone has hundreds of, they still haven't added into it. I'm like, I keep looking at CG. I'm like, you want to make like
that's for
relic materials a little bit more accessible. Add some of these, like add the Gear 12 finishers that everyone has 1,000 of that can't use them fast enough for the way we're
everything but the cylindrical ones that get used for basically every single character. So you've got like, I have 200 of this finisher, but 1,000 of all the others.
Yeah, the injector head stuff.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of where I can. Yeah, I've got the injector handle. I've got 1,100 of the injector head. I've got 1,250. I mean, it's just like I don't know what, but like we have the two that I'm thinking of is the Mark 12 Circa hypo syringes. And the Mark 12 Zerka shield generators. Like, I have hundreds of these, and I barely touch them ever. Like, can we find somewhere to use them?
Yeah.
Can we just add some of those?
A use out of them would be nice.
Can we add both to Gerda keypads, or one to Gerda and one to impulse detectors? Like, come on, help a brother out.
That's not really in their game plan at the moment, Karth. I'm sorry.
I know.
Yeah,
why do you got to be like this?
Yeah, why you be like this? Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I got so distracted from what I was trying to do. I was trying to math on how many crystals it would take to buy, or what the gear equivalent would be for Gerdas. Yeah, the gear equivalent.
It's probably incredibly inefficient use of crystals.
Oh, it definitely is, because it's well, it's better to buy the Gerdas with crystals than it is to buy
gear to break down into Gerdas.
Yeah, gear to break to break down, because it's 1,750 crystals to buy 50 of them. Right. So it's 35 crystals per piece. You need 720 to get 60 Gerda keypads. So you times that by 35. Yeah, 25,000 crystals.
for one essentially 20 set of Gerdas. It's how much?
No. That's for 3 sets of Gerdas.
Oh, Gerdas. I was going to say that sounds insanely expensive.
So yeah, that relic dominance pack they have, if you do spend it is, and you need the Gerdas, it's a better investment, because I think the pack itself is pushing like 12,000 crystals worth of value for most players, and it costs $50. Right. So
I was going to say, yeah, that's about 2/3 of a vault, right? So it's about $75 worth of value for $50. It's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty good setup. So and you can buy it 3 times, so you can get up to 90 Gerdas. And the only thing that sucks is there's only 10 droid brains per one, so it's like if you need the worst part is that the Zimbitals, the Aero Magnifiers, and the Electrum Conductors, and the Impulse Detectors are only 8 of. So technically, if you needed to buy out all the materials, you would need to buy it 3 times.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's
that's buy it 3 times so you can get one of the Relic 9s that you're looking for.
Yeah, so if you'll need to supplement that with your Mark III currency.
Yep. But that's what the Mark III currency has made such a massive difference.
The whole way they restructured the raid has made a massive difference in gear economy. in a massive net positive. Like I can't
huge.
argue.
Yeah.
Like you get people, oh well, it's just so stupid how the raid set up. I just don't get my gear the same way I used to. And I'm like, no, it requires like 5 seconds of thinking to go like, hey, these are the characters I'm working on. Let me just favorite them real quick, and then I can either go to them, find out what gear I need, and go buy it, or B, it will just show up in the store when you go and you're searching through the area. And so it's like, I was short on those.
I'd refer people back to the video that I made when Great Raid first got announced and the structure was announced. I made a video there saying the reward changes are good. Stop complaining. This is a great.
And you still had people all over your comment section just bitching about how it was just gonna eviscerate the economy and ruin everything. But it's like my alternate account was like I was zeroed out on the Mark III holo projectors, and I needed like 500 of them to bring up the characters for Bo and Bane, and I needed to turn some of them into the Erodium heat sinks for the relic material. So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna need to see if I can get some of those. Like raid ends 3 days later, I have 1,000 of them, and I'm like, you couldn't have done this prior. Like it would never have happened.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just can't argue. Like the way it's set up is so much better. It just the only thing I don't like about it is that they completely carve out the Mark III from all other raids, and even on the personal track. And I think they should, at least to a degree, keep it on the personal track, no matter what. It's a
fantastic jump off for a guild jumping over to the next raid and everything if you're not prepared for it. If you ever want to invest in this over here, and at least to get partial rewards until you're geared up for the next raid, it's a big jump. And
for
really
sure.
drastic on
They could have like halved it. If it's no longer the featured raid, just halve the Mark III. They can keep the Mark I and Mark II the same, halve it, or even like cut it in a third so you're getting minimal amount of value. But, just help out the guys that are not ready to jump onto the new raid straight away. So,
help out the players that are dealing with the transition time too. Like it's just
exactly.
It's like, because it may not be the issue of the Mark III that's going to cause the heartache for these players. It's going to be the issue of the substantially decreased. No, that can't be right. I thought they were going to they decreased the amount of Mark II you got, but I don't think they do. I think it remains the same.
Mark I and Mark II is exactly the same, and it caps out really quickly as well. It's like if you hit the second or third box, I think you've already like capped out how much Mark I and Mark II the guild gets from the guild box. It jumps up real quick, and then it just like no more. You just gradually get more and more Mark III.
The caveat to that, of course, is that the new raid is accessible at the gear 11 essentially, right?
Yeah,
but I think it does require. Does it have a star lockout? I can never remember. No, 5-star requirements is for the lowest tier.
Yeah.
So in theory, as long as you can get to like the first box or two in the raids, you should, in theory, do better. Who trying to join my guild?
Not me, Koth. I'm
sorry. Distracted. I saw it's so rare I have a red glowing button next to
anything at this point, right?
The guild tab.
Yeah. It's like Carthrick is done.
No, I still got plenty in my account to upgrade because I'm not all in R9 yet. I haven't spent that $30,000 to get there.
He's not quite there yet. Like maybe this time next week he'll be done with that. Which we'll see.
Do you have any red number ones popping up? Any numbers popping up in your character screen showing you have upgrades to go or no?
Yeah, because I've got Relic 9 to do and Omicrons to equip.
It's daily down.
Because I'm going to R9 Bane tomorrow, and then I'm going to do other things.
Yeah, I'm going to be that sad sap that is just there with like R8 Bane and Relic 7C. I'll be like, sorry about that.
Only Relic 8 Bane? Oh, gosh.
Well, it's more that he's got more relics than C. Which doesn't make sense. I should
be kind of amusing.
Yeah. I should really give C some love. Poor man. Poor old geriatric. But then again, Wolfie, you're probably happy. You're like, yes, Bane is the superior Sith. He deserves more relic levels than C.
Right, but then also it's gonna be funny if we're not using Bane with C anymore. It no longer matters. He's up on his
Wolf is
own.
like, yeah, even better. This is the way.
It's that much funnier, and C is now more relevant. It's great. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So C just continues to use what?
Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean, that's like the thing I'm like low key. That's like I'm low key like interested to see how we can split it, because if it's just helpful information to know, right? Is how to split him if you have the option to.
Yeah.
Because if you can do C Savage or Bane Savage and 2-man like most A tier teams.
Yeah.
And then see Watt can go beat, whatever you need it to. Yeah, what it normally beats, then it's a good thing to have in the back pocket, because it's like Savage with Traya is the cornerstone of a Traya team, but if you have a high relic set, you can swap it.
Yeah. To be honest, that's one thing that I've been wanting to do for a long time, is bulk up my Triumvirate, because my Traya is only relic 5, my Scion is relic 3, my Nihilus is relic 5. I've got an R7 set and everything, but I would really like to have like a full R7 minimum Triumvirate.
Yeah.
It would make me feel a lot more comfortable.
The health pool increase is massive. You're adding like 8,000 health to each of those characters, and then that gets multiplied by whatever you have for their modding.
Yeah, exactly.
Which gives you way more room when you're going against like Reva and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you described, pretty much. I'm at like 5 across the board for those guys, and 7 for sets. So it would be nicer to have a little bit more gear on them, because realistically, unless you're going for a very high value target like Reva, you don't always need Savage. You can get by without Savage for a while. Yeah, very very good.
I agree.
Kill a lot of good stuff without needing to use him. Scion is a perfectly good tank for that team. He's just not Savage, which kind of sucks to say.
Yeah.
So you can still do a lot of good work with that team if you have the them decently modded and whatnot. So definitely for consideration.
You speak about it. I was umming and ahhing for a long time, because I know that Traya in particular, her leadership really benefits from a lot of max health.
Yeah.
And I was like, more often than not, I'm using Traya against Reva, right? Like if that's what I've been using her, and that kind of health modding kind of hurts you because of Deathmark, because you're taking percentile health effects, right? Deathmark does damage based on your max health. So I was like, maybe I should not mod her for health right now and just switch it up. Maybe go for protection or go for some defense, like just to try and mitigate the amount of damage I take from Deathmarks.
But your bonus protection is also health.
Exactly. That's the other side of it. But like we have to try and find that middle ground between what's the most useful.
It's the incoming debuffs versus the incoming hits, because you'll take the death mark damage every time you take physical damage or you take an actual hit, and then but if you're getting inflicted with like 3 or 4 debuffs every time you're getting a hit, because like a lot of the Inquisitors do quite a few debuffs on basics, then you should in theory balance it back and forth. Because I mean, I still have my Traya health modded because for that exact reason. I'm trying to remember. Because it's 10% bonus protection stacking till the end of the battle, and then what does it do? Yeah, then then she just converts that to everybody for her Omicron.
Yeah.
So Deathmark deals 25% max health damage.
25% max health damage. Yeah. Okay. And how much
like
bonus protection do they get based?
10%.
10%
per debuff.
Okay. Yeah, per debuff. So if you get more than 3 debuffs, then you should net positive, just about.
Yeah, but the other advantage is that they're constantly cleansing the purge and then getting it reapplied. So that also helps them keep doing that, because they'll always inflict purge is a debuff. Yeah, so it's like there are things that help that, but it's definitely one of those things where it's like, if you get screwed out of gaining bonus protection, or you just get a couple of unlucky hits before you can stabilize it, then it's just like, and Traya falls, you're like,
yeah.
But I mean, 9 times out of 10, the Traya battle just needs to make sure that Torture doesn't land on Traya or Nihilus. It needs to land on Savage or Set.
Yeah.
Well, if you have those, yes.
It's
yes.
yeah. It's
Don't take Scion and expect him to target Scion because he doesn't taunt at the rip. So
I always find the metric for me if I'm going to win that battle is, do I manage to get isolate off? Not that you need isolate to because you always annihilate Reva right at the start, but I usually find if Traya is alive long enough to land that isolate on Reva and I can decrease the cooldowns on my Nihilus, I usually win that battle. If they kill Traya too quickly, well, I'm just like, nope, we're dead.
Yeah, and right now it's just a high risk with that. If you are not at or above their relic level, it's a very high risk trade because of the Empire Crons that are out there right now. Because that increased offense, they will just melt your face off if you're not careful.
Yeah, you gotta
especially
not mess around with her.
Yeah, the main thing I find is that especially with Reva is that if you can control her before she gets her AOE off, with the locked defense down and the locked heal immunity, then typically you shouldn't run into any problems. But if you do get stuck behind that heal immunity, it can really cause a lot of heartache because Savage can't heal and Traya can't do some of her stuff, but luckily with Traya's kit mechanics, it usually gives you some sort of way to get around it because like when they gain buffs outside of their turn, which they're going to with GI's first ability, it's going to nuke all of their offense for a turn. So it's like there are some mechanics in play. You just got to live long enough to get through them.
That's usually the way it goes.
You do.
Yeah. So much more relics help you do.
More better.
Yep.
That brings us full circle to how we started this conversation. I want some more relic levels on my Sith Triumvirate.
Yes, it's true. That's what I want.
Yeah, it would be nice.
More.
I would also like some more relic levels on my Biggs, because I have the Biggs Cron, but he's still relic 3, so I'm like, I want to try it out.
That sounds like
a you problem, Scribble.
Get your shit together.
There's too much I need to relic right now, Karth. We got Bane coming out tomorrow, and then we've got 4 more Gungan
You did
Marquees.
It to yourself. You did it to yourself.
Wait. It's Scribe's fault that we're getting Bane? Yo, thank you, Scribe. That's
awesome. You're welcome.
No. It's his. It's.
I made a Greek salad yesterday, Wolfie. You'll be proud of me.
Ooh,
it was delicious.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Bravo. Opa.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm.
Sorry, Scribe. What was that? Was that Coach? What?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No.
Food is delicious. In general.
Food is always good.
Yeah.
All right. So it's Scribe's fault that we're getting Bane. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's his fault. He's so relic poor right now.
Just because I'm awesome and I'm getting stuff doesn't mean it's my fault.
Just because you left me behind and out in the cold and by myself.
Karth, I tried to drag you with me, kicking and screaming, but you wouldn't do it. I mean, no, I didn't. People from Mighty Clurans 3, I didn't try and pilfer Karth. I didn't do it.
They would be foolish to think that you hadn't. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I knew. I saw guild gifting was a thing. I was like, Karth, you sure you don't want to come with me?
Think of all the money you'll save not having to send me stuff through PayPal.
Exactly. That's saving like 5%.
Directly in the app. It's fantastic.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's just the move had changes in priorities, which is where your relics have gone to. So there are characters that you're upgrading now that you wouldn't have if you hadn't have gone. That's the only reason why I'm saying you did it to yourself.
Yeah. How dare you go somewhere for more rewards to relic up your account quicker and then bitch about it? How dare you, Scribble?
Yeah.
And you'll also be like, you know the solution. Wail more.
Yeah, well, I mean, how else are you going to get caught up on your sealing data and Zeta mats? You're going to just be stuck at like a bunch of Relic 0 characters.
It's going to be painful. They just need to, I don't know, give double drops on Cantina.
They just need to Lightspeed bundle an account. Like for another $100, let me play everything in my account to Relic 5. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Why not?
That would be so nuts.
I would so do that. Everything minimum Relic 5. Bye.
That is accelerated. Let me caveat it.
Yeah,
I'm so okay with that.
I mean,
That's
come on.
most of what
All
I'm
of the
missing.
Galactic Republic Jedi, they're about to get used in the new raid.
Yeah, I
Yes.
know, right? You would still do it. Like people would still do it in droves. I wouldn't fault them for a second,
The
man. Like
accelerated crap is most of what I'm missing.
Exactly.
The Bodhi, the Amagun dies, the Hoth Rebel soldiers, I mean, Night Sister initiates. Those are all the crap that I have.
Did you mean like any Night Sister? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
just volunteer them for platoons. Then you'll have to have them at high relics.
That doesn't solve my problem, Karth. That creates problems for me.
I mean, just whale on more relic
Just-
materials,
just-
and then
just-
you'll be fine.
Have you heard of credit card debt?
Pull a second mortgage on your home and just live comfortably in the amount of debt that's up to your eyeballs. It's a great time.
Step
Just-
1, buy a home.
Step 1, get a mortgage. Step 2, remortgage it.
Yeah, you have to have enough equity in the house to even pull out a second mortgage.
I'll I don't know. I'll hack the accounts and make it look like I've paid off 50% and got equity, and then go to prison. And then by the time I come out, Swogga will be closed. So
They might let you play Swogga in
Perfect.
prison. Come on, we don't know.
I mean, that's true.
No, I doubt it because they wouldn't let you communicate.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Because
do you
you
think
could
they'll let
use
me
the-
stream
you could-
from prison?
No?
Because they don't want people to communicate through the app. They have a big no policy on that stuff.
Ah,
All communications are severely monitored, so they don't give you anything that can subvert that.
I
So
see.
mobile games
I
would
mean,
probably be
there's
on
a-
that list.
There's a terms of service. I'm sure that you'll be they'll trust you on my right?
The warden's just sitting there watching you play Swogga, trying to tell you how to play the game.
Yeah. He's like, no. You can't use that special right now. You're dazed.
No.
Don't do that.
Yeah, that would be
You don't
funny.
fuck yourself. Sorry, sir.
That would be funny. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
Not you in prison, but just
No.
inmates playing Swogga.
I genuinely don't want to ever go to prison. Thank you very much. I'd rather live my life as a
Be
free
nice.
individual. Yeah.
Yes, would be nice.
I've gotten kind of used to, having freedom, and, I don't want to lose that. So, yeah.
Good stuff.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Okay, guys in the chat, make sure you head over to the Discord channel. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask it in the Tribe Talks channel over there, and we'll probably take a look at answering them in due course in a short amount of time. I obviously put that in the wrong thing, so my commands isn't working. Karth has decided, fuck that shit, I'm out.
No, I just need to go get some water. So
Questions?
I'll be back.
Words lost.
Need
Army.
something to drink. My room is getting quite warm, and I'm starting to sweat.
It's because of all this hotness. You know what I mean?
There we go.
Because of all that hotness, baby. Yeah.
Whose fault is that?
Whose fault is that indeed? So I'm kind of hoping still, hoping against all hope that we get Tarples next week. But I wouldn't be too upset if he's pushed out a week, because that just means we've got an extra week of, time.
So if they did
work on
3
things.
weeks, you think that they would be so if they do the 3 weeks, they're pushing out another little bit. They're probably doing another 3 weeks after that. Do you think that'd be more lending toward the chance of them releasing the two nameless units together?
Ooh. Potentially. I was listening to, I think it was the Gambit podcast recently, and they were talking about these marquees, and they were answering the question of how do they think the event is going to drop for Jar Jar in particular. And there was some speculation around, is it going to be super quick, or is it going to be 3 months out? And it was surprising, the amount of them are thinking there's still going to be time after the marquees drop, like, more typical times, the old way of us getting marquees before legendaries, where it'll be like 2 months after the first, the last marquee has dropped, the legendary event would kick off, rather than what we've had recently, which is a far shorter time frame. So this is sort of a roundabout way getting to the, do I think those two marquees will drop together? And I think there's a chance, especially with all the accelerated stuff that they're doing for these marquees. To me, the accelerated stuff for the marquees speaks to, it's going to be a tight frame to unlock Jar Jar first time round.
Yeah.
But I also 100% think that the raid is going to drop as soon as Queen Amidala is done, the third round of her conquest. Because I can't see it dropping any sooner. Sorry?
Did we count out when that would be if she starts the next conquest?
We did. I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
If conquest ends on Monday, we have what, 2 weeks off? Oh, that's so many countings.
That's all of the countings.
That's all of the countings. I feel like Aldi. So many countings.
Yeah, it's so we're 2 weeks out from the next conquest, and then it'll be 3 months after that. So yeah, it's 14
so
weeks.
Like June, I guess. I mean, that's towards like the end of June, like we were saying initially.
Yeah. I think that's how it's going to line out. I don't think it will be, like the first round of the conquest after her final conquest. You know what I mean? Because they could theoretically wait for people who are not red boxing, but I doubt it. That's the timing I think it's going to be. So what they could do with Jar Jar, if he's not a permanent journey guide event, is they could have him come once, and then the next time he comes round is right before the raid launches. So it's like that little bit of, they'll create some urgency with the first round of Jar Jar, and then I'll be like, when's he going to come back? You want to make sure you get ready for the next raid. And then, the raid's about to drop, and you'll be like, oh, he's back, sort of thing. But I don't know. No matter which way I'm looking at it, I want to make sure that I'm prepped as quickly as possible. So.
Yes. Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be doing the getting at least a $30 pack for each of the marquees.
Yeah.
Getting each of them at least a 5 stars. We'll see once we get a better indication, of when the raid might be launching. You'll see how much you actually have to spend, how much you actually have to invest to try and get Jar Jar right off the bat. But I still think there's a good chance it's going to be similar to the bow, where you come back and then she'd come back again and then come back again and then come back again. It's the raid character.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Very important, so they got to throw them in. It's somebody that's is going to be hugely relevant that they need to pay attention to, and they need to have accessible for people.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to do it permanently in the journey guide, then
that was my first stance when it first came to discussion. I was like, Jar Jar's definitely going permanent to the journey guide. He has to, because the new raid, they don't want the smoke of everybody saying, I can't get Jar Jar and he's the most important character for the raid, and then they don't get him until like 6 months into the raid, and it's like, now the raid's disappearing in 3 months' time. Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. But if they do it like Bo-Katan, where it is like once a month his event keeps on coming back, then maybe people will be okay with it. I'm just not sure.
That allows them to reward the people who are investing early without screwing over the rest of the people who aren't investing as early as much. So it still says it's still a hand away or a give out or whatever to the whales, or a, hey, thanks for spending, thanks for getting all that character nice and early. Here's your extra raid scores, your extra extra good super primo whatever good shit.
And we don't know how good he's going to be in GAC as well. So
I mean, it's a new character. If he's not good in GAC, to give him enough Datacrons to make him good.
Yeah.
I mean,
he will be good in Datacrons.
They will make sure he is good in GAC. If people are investing, it's like, have they released a new team that has not been good? Like, when's the last time they released a new team that wasn't?
Good question.
Like, pretty much they release a new character, they release a new team. I mean, even the new
pretty much want them, right? Yeah.
Them decent.
Especially if it's got a legendary.
Yeah, especially if there's a legendary.
Yeah.
Mad Max Wookiees. So I said Wookiees in chat. Wookiees are actually pretty solid, especially in TW with the Omicron. They're actually not as bad as people give them crap for. Chrysanthemum, not Chrysanthemum. I keep saying that by accident. God damn it. Zalbar, when he does his big bomb thing over there, dude can delete things. Like, it's actually pretty crazy how much they can do. They're not super meta crazy pro deleting everything, but they're not like awful. I will say that Wookiees are probably the worst of the new teams that they've released.
Yeah.
And even then, it's not new teams. It's just they release a single new character to elevate a faction. This is like an entirely new faction they're releasing, like Bad Batch.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, we've had people saying Trench, and Trench is okay. And Trench is actually really good in TW with his Omicrons, and that's why he's just not very good elsewhere. With his Omicrons, he's great. It's just, without it, it's just...
a single character.
Exactly. exactly. Not a whole faction that's brand new.
Yeah.
And like they smashed it with
new
UFUs, with like a Seer UFU team and Malicos. Amazing.
I mean, honestly, if you want to look back at it, the when they introduce a new faction, the worst one they've introduced in recent history was Inquisitors, because it was pretty much
They needed some love.
not worth the time until Reva showed up for a lot of people. I mean, because like Van Seal went through it a lot, and even I went down the rabbit hole of like, well, if you mod the living hell out of them, then they can punch up versus things outside of TW. Well, outside of TW, yeah. Well, that was the intent, though, right? It was the 5. It was the 5 characters released, and then GI was dropped after it. It'll be similar to how Gungans are going to function.
Yeah.
We just had a functional team of 5 prior to GI's release instead. I mean,
the problem was like you could mod the crap out of them, and then they'd beat something like Gas, and that it's not that that's not good. It's just not good enough for the investment.
Well, for the investment, yeah. No, I'm with you. But I mean, Gas is a Galactic or is an Epic Confrontation character, so you're using a legendary to be an Epic Confrontation team. It's kind of a 1-to-1 comparison. It's just that they really oversold their capabilities of what they were going to be able to do outside of or inside of TW, because everyone was thinking JMK counters. They're like, JML, guys, come on, it'll beat JML. I'm like, who the hell puts JML at defense? Come on, get your head out of here.
Exactly. And I'll get my 4 other teams that can also counter JML.
Yeah.
In the meantime.
Let me just take GG Newt and go beat JML.
Yeah, it's funny business. All right, I'm going to take us over to Discord. Let's have some questions.
Oh, we still haven't gotten there?
We haven't started the old questiones just yet. So let me see. So first one comes from Fully OP. Do you think we'll get a Lothcat support unit somewhere in the future? Send CG and adorable smudgy and indie pictures as bait. No, I don't think we'll do that. Lothcats are not coming to the game unless we get animal companions or something. And even then.
I think the only way we would get a Lothcat in the game is as the little relic amplifier symbol for like a new Sabine or something like that. Mm-hmm. I think aside from that, maybe like they gave I think Omega, they gave the little doll over there, so I think there's a chance they can give like a Lothcat over there. They gave JMK the whatever crazy beast, I forgot what it was even called. That's his relic amplifier.
I can't remember the name of that thing now.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's like a crazy whatever name.
But the Viractyl Boga.
That's the name. Viractyl. How could I not remember Viractyl Boga? That just rolls right off the tongue.
Exactly. You should have known that one.
Hey, listen, I just went to JMK and pulled open the relic information. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known either.
Natural. So yeah, unfortunately, I mean, I would love them to bring pets. If they're bringing in pets bring Embo's puppy, bring a Lothcat for either Ezra or something. No, Ezra got a Lothwolf. So give Sabine a Lothcat, give Ezra a Lothwolf, absolutely make it happen.
Well, I mean, so many people wanted like BD1 to be its own character for Cal.
Yeah,
and they're like, cool. No, we'll have BD1 in the game. He's actually, the funny part to me is that BD1 is on the back of Cal. Mm-hmm. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis. But he's
on you the whole time. He's chilling. Yeah. Like he's not like his own character. He's like your side.
No. They put him in. They put him into it, but people want it as its own unit, and they're just like, no, we don't want to do that.
I don't know. I would love BD1, but I don't think he would make sense as his own unit.
BD's cool.
No, but it's funny to me that BD1 is the relic amplifier for OG Cal, and then it's Cal's lightsaber for Jedi Knight Cal.
Yeah.
I find it humorous.
Yeah, BD1's been relegated. He's no longer the relic amplifier.
Well, he is the relic amplifier of OG Cal.
Yeah, just not the Jedi Knight Cal. Once Cal becomes a Jedi, Cal. He's like, screw you, BD1. I have the Force now.
Yeah,
and my lightsaber.
Except for OG Cal is like probably one of the most annoying characters in all of Soga, I think, that they've ever released.
He's a little bit frustrating.
OG Cal?
OG Cal, yeah. Well, he's incredibly obnoxious to work around unless you have like very specific debuffs to control the team.
All that
Like if you don't
foresight and the healing and the debuffs
Yeah.
that he puts out, it's just like, stop it, Cal. Stop giving the bonus protection. Cut it out.
Yeah. Well, it's not even like the bonus protection. It's the they heal with the bonus protection too. So it's like it makes it harder to deal damage to them, and then they heal underneath it. It's just like, where's my shocks?
Damn it.
Where's my doubt? I need to get rid of you.
But then there's all the tenacity up that he's got, all the bleeding time and the foresight.
Well, that's from
It's
Seer. Seer leaves the tenacity up, isn't it?
Yeah, but
It's the whole
I
team,
mean,
but yeah, it's incredibly obnoxious.
it's like,
They do some good
dang
work.
nabbit. All right, good question. So yeah, maybe like we'd like to, but it's not happening, guys. I mean, we can't very well get pets in the game before we get vehicles, and we're not getting vehicles. So
I would love to get pets. I mean, get me, like I said, get me Empo's puppy. I'm down 100%, absolutely. But
what do we call Pokemon in space?
Pokemon in space, Palmons.
Palmons.
Bring on the lawsuits. Let's go.
Star Pets, ready, go.
Super Pets, go. Anyway, next question. Can you get a permaban on Karth, please? No, Sathi, go away. Karth is a mod. He can't be banned.
No, I'm not. I'm VIP, but I'm not a mod.
Oh, yeah. I'm a step above a mod. I'm VIP, baby. Don't you know it? Okay, what would be the best thing to hoard for Jar Jar requirements, says Jar Jar Binks. Why don't you guys take it away?
The best thing is it the best thing to hoard, or is it should they hoard?
No, it says what would be the best thing to hoard for Jar Jar requirements.
Kairos, Zetas, Omicrons. I mean, that's the only thing you need. You need a lot of Kairos, a lot of Zetas, and a lot of Omicrons. Like that's pretty much it. You know he's gonna take like what 500-600 to get to relic levels, like the legendaries tend to.
Relic materials.
Yeah, all the
relic materials, all of them. You're gonna need a lot.
Exactly what we're gonna need. Oh yeah.
Yep. Because I mean, the R5 is just for the unlock. You're gonna want that whole Gungan faction most likely at Relic 8. So.
Yeah, because I mean, you're
at this point, whatever. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're gonna need it just for the sake of the that only puts you on what tier 4 at Relic 5.
Exactly.
So to get to tier 6, you got to go up anyways. It's the reason why my boss Nass is R8, because he's gonna go there anyways. So I might as well just do it and be done with it.
We don't know at this point for the new raid what the structure is. So we're assuming it's going to go back to 5v5, but it could still be 3v3. And we could still have viability in undermanning or short manning, but we just don't know. I'll take them to Relic 5, and then I'm gonna be in a holding pattern until we do some learnings from the new raid. But I plan on being ready to Relic 8 all of them immediately.
Yeah. And
I will put a raid Omni on whoever is getting the raid Omni, because I need to be able to do empirical testing. Because the Scout Trooper one was so worth it. I still cry myself to sleep every night about that stupid Omicron.
You're saying that far ahead. You know you're gonna put that damn Omicron on, even if it's complete crap.
I mean, I have to do it for the viewers at home, Wolfie. I need to be able to tell them, don't be like Scribble. Don't put raid Omnis on because they suck. I mean, I still maintain the Bausch one was worthwhile. The Bausch one was worthwhile. It's just...
You could undersize or put a full team on fucking easy mode.
Yeah.
You could one-shot it every time.
Yep. And the Scout Trooper Omicron is like that, but like the complete opposite. It's like you put the one on the Scout Trooper Omicron on, and you don't notice any difference in scores. So if you like just getting rid of Omnis, if you like just getting rid of Omnis for no value, then crack on.
There is that.
Yeah.
There is that. That's a consideration.
It is a consideration. Yeah.
Some people just have way too many Omicrons and don't know what to do with them. Look at you, Karth.
Way too much of anything. Yeah, definitely Karth. So I'll do it most likely just to do some testing, make some videos, help some people out hopefully.
If it's worth it, or if they cut it in half, like I said, if the price was 10, like it was for the Bausch Show Me,
I would feel more comfortable. Yeah, for sure.
A lot more comfortable if they gave us a partial refund on that. I'd be all down, but the full price, it just felt bad, so I skipped it.
I wish I had. But I think I did it whilst I was making a video just to see what could be possible. And it like the part that
out of it?
Sorry?
You got content out of it?
I got content out of it, yes. I did get content out of it. But I think the most frustrating thing is it can get you maybe a couple of 100k, but ultimately at the very top end, if you're using it either with Chirper or with Akbar, you don't need the Omni to max score in the raid. So it's like, why bother? If you're not using them, I use Hera personally, and I still get 2.5 mil with that team. But I was doing the same score without it, so it was like, all right. Cool. Good times. Good times.
Is that with or without remodding?
Oh, no, that's with remodding. I remod for every run. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You're muted, Karthrik.
I wish we could hear it.
What he said was incredibly profound, and he swore to never repeat it.
I was just saying,
is a tribute to
basically to score like 2 to 2 million and above, you gotta start remodding. You can usually get to about 2 million if you just play it manually and you're at the right relic levels. But if you want to get pushing beyond that, you need to buy enough time, which requires proper modding.
Yeah, I remod for almost every team. I think there's like 2 in my rotation that I don't remod for because they're lower tiers and they're the stuff that's actually incredibly easy to just muscle through. You know, because I don't have a high relic Akbar or a high relic Chirper. I can run something like, you know, Akbar, Chirper, and an Imperial Trooper, and you can get like 800k by sneezing, more or less, because they're that good in the raid. You don't need to remod for that because it's just super, super easy. So I don't remod for them, but for literally almost every other team, I remod very specifically and I play it manually because I want to try and maximize my score that I can. And it works. I get just over 15 mil at the moment. So the only thing that's going to push me higher is more relic investment. So, which, as we know, relic investment right now is quite difficult. So
yeah, I think I'm hitting the 15.55 box, and I think I'm gonna be okay sitting there for the rest of this raid. I don't see myself doing any more crazy investing in teams much beyond that. I don't really see a huge need to. You know, getting Bane and Relic, getting all the new characters to Relics, getting all the fun stuff, all the new raid characters up to Relics, the Gungans and all that fun stuff. So that's the new focus here.
That actually leads nicely on to our very next question from a particular running bald man. What commonly overlooked Galactic Republic toon do you think will be the standout character for the new raid? What do you think, gents?
I mean, the droid specialist, obviously. What is it?
Keith Off, yeah. I mean, thematically it makes sense, right?
Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not going to be underused or anything. Obviously, the obvious one is going to be Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
But for underused ones, I'm going to actually seriously say Eth Koth. That's going to be my guess. Eth Koth, just because he's the droid specialist, it's going to be funny. They're going to get him something over there and make him actually work. And he'll get like a rework. Or imagine they gave Eth Koth a raid Omicron and like a rework and made him useful.
I could see it. I could see it happening. I could see it happening. 100%. I'm with you. I mean, if we wanted to be like a little bit more educational in our approach to it, we could probably just go to swigger.gg, filter it by Galactic Republic Jedi, and see which one have the lowest number of relict characters, and it'll be them ones. Like those guys will be the best.
And how do you think they chose Kit Fisto and Mace for the special mission on?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's thematic. I get it. They're fighting Sidious. He was there. I get it. But there's a reason they included the mission, and it's because
they could just ignore it.
Very few people have Relic 5 Mace or Kit Fisto, so let's just shove that out there.
All of a sudden, a Relic 5 Kit Fisto sounds attractive now because like he's going to be using the new raid almost certainly.
There's not many GR characters I expect to show up as part of the raid. More like that aren't Jedi tags, I guess is a better way of phrasing that. I feel like we're going to get a little bit more support for the GR team in the raid with Queen Amidala. That's going to be kind of their how they structure it, and then they'll throw 2 under it. but I have a feeling that the GR Jedi or Jedi in general will probably be the faction that we get the most from. Because Separatists, I can't imagine us giving us more than maybe 2 full teams.
Well, so this is something that the more I think about it, the more sort of half convinced I think it's going to be a 3v3. Well, a 3-character raid again.
Oh God, I hope not.
Just because.
Yeah, but then,
hear me out.
So I can be sad.
There's only 5 Gungans that's going to be in the game. So that means the Gungan faction will be one faction. One team that you use. That's it. And if
sounds like Tuskens.
Yeah, sure. But what if they also give Jar Jar some GR support? Because it would kind of make sense if it was just Jar Jar. And then he could go in as part of another 3-player team.
But why would you? Because they're going to bring in the 2 other GR characters for
Queen Amidala, yeah. But there's going to be more than one Galactic Republic team. There'll be a Qui-Gon Jinn team.
And Karth, you're saying sounds like Tuskens. You know what else Tuskens have? They have an
3v3
Omicron on Dad Bod Boba to make
him but they only
Tuskens in
they
3v3,
only
which
did
makes
that.
Dad Bod Boba a Tusken, so we can get a 4th or 6th Gungan somehow.
They only did that to explicitly allow you to have 2 Tusken teams inside of 3v3.
Exactly. Point made.
And nobody uses it anyways because the
the Raider army is still better with Warrior and Chieftain.
And
oh man!
But they did try.
What a fail! They did try.
They did try.
Oh, God.
But I mean, it's for me. I think it goes back to 5s because 5s would be with it's 25. It's less characters required, but this raid is going to have 8. No. 6 Marquees, 7 Marquees, 2 other. You have 9 required characters for the raid. Yeah, so you have 9 required characters for the raid that are all Marquees, legendaries, or conquest units.
Yeah, it's rough.
Like that's all brand new. My guess is it's 5 battles again, and it's 25 characters, which means a third of your characters are going to be brand new farms.
So if they have 2 teams, they have the 1 Gungan team. They may have 2 GR teams or 3 GR teams, maybe. But they have to do that, and like 2 separatist teams possible.
My guess is that it would be
options for teams do we have for the Crate Dragon? We had 8 or 9 teams we could potentially run.
Sort of.
We had the Jabba split. We had
but the Jabba split only exists because
Tuskens, the Jawas.
Yeah, Old Republic, but Old Republic you really couldn't sort into 2 teams, and Mandos you really couldn't do more than 1 run with Mandos.
Yeah, it's just kind of confusing. It's kind of confusing.
So, if the raid army, which is why I'm hopeful the raid army isn't on the Gungan faction. I'm really hoping they put it somewhere else, because the only way the Jabba's one worked was because the Bausch army allowed you to either underman or separate the factions into 2 teams. Otherwise, you would have still needed to run your Jawas, and so nobody wanted to do that. So, there were a few. There were a few crazy people that wanted to take R8 Jawas and throw it at the raid.
Still a no.
Still have a hard time hitting 2 million. But for the most part. My guess would be is that Gungans will make up 1 of the teams, and then GR will make up the other, and then you would have likely 2 Jedi teams and then a Separatist team. But they might allow us more flexibility and put more units required. But I mean, this current raid we needed air quotes here 24, and they gave us 30, so they could still do the same thing where they give us. What's up?
Oh wow, it's only 30.
They only gave us 30. We had a lot more in the first raid, but they went back and after Crate was transferred out to the new raid, they went back and limited the characters that you could use for that raid. Which I don't know why they'd bother, but they basically just didn't want a Bo-Katan being a part of that raid. That was it. That's the whole reason they did it, which I don't understand because like there's no
For reasons.
incentive to play Crate Dragon again ever.
No.
If you're
Yeah.
and if you have
maybe they
Bo-Katan,
just didn't want to, waste time coding it to allow her in there. It's just like, who's going to
Well,
run
but
it? Can't be asked to go in and change it.
It was just the faction. It was just the faction tag, though. That was the thing. The fact it was prior. When the Crate Dragon released, it was faction tags. So as long as you were a Mandalorian, a Hutt Cartel, a Jawa, a Tusken, or Old Republic, you could go in against the raid. And now they've gone back and said, no, it's these explicit characters. They're still all the same characters. It's just not going to allow you to add IG-12 and Paz and Grogu, and Bo-Katan and stuff to that mix.
Just because they arbitrarily decided to.
Yeah, I can't imagine why it mattered because it's like we're never going back to playing Crate Dragon for Mark III currency. So it's like
unless one of the questions that they put out for the raids was, would you have preferred a rotation on raids? So what if down the line they actually decide to start rotating the new raids? So eventually we go back to Crate being the featured raid, and they didn't want to have Bo-Katan Mandalore being accessible.
Yeah, they'll do that another 2-3
year.
years when we have 6 raids out, and then everyone's had to relic their rosters for them, and then there's something else for them to do.
It's like, we're just going to rotate it every 3 months. Every 3 months, it's going to be a different featured raid. Enjoy. Make sure you've relicked everything. I don't want to go back to Crate. I
miss when we got the ISC and GAR rework.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a fun run to do in Crate Dragon.
I remember watching.
It was
chaos.
Just a glass cannon chaos. Like if it didn't play out perfectly, you got screwed. But if you played out just fine, like if it played out like it's supposed to, which you had to kind of monitor a little bit more, it just like Crate spits on everybody, kills everybody, but then ISC and GAR hit damage immunity and then just counterattack them to max score. It was so much fun to watch. It was like 45-second run.
Yeah, it was an entertaining thing to watch.
Yeah, I missed that. It's why I like playing the who the hell was it? The Cad Bane split, because the run was basically like, if it worked, it worked, and if it didn't, you found out very quickly. Unlike the Maul run, which was like, well, you might get eaten on that second barrow. There's no way to tell. You get a 20% chance that you do, and if you do get eaten, you start over. And that's about 4 minutes into the fight. So I don't miss that.
All right.
Tusken, once you broke higher relics, R7, it was an easy fight. Yeah,
that was a fun fight. Like, you learn the mechanics of that and how the Tuskens worked with all that and stacking the momentum and just doing all the crazy damage and everything. It was a good fight. It was very reliable. If you weren't paying attention, then you could screw it up. But it was a fun fight. And didn't take all that long. And basically, if you didn't have if you didn't split the Jabba team up and you just ran Jabba with Bausch and all of them, then you could reliably get 2.7 your first run pretty much every time. If you had the Omicron. I mean, a lot of those runs weren't all that bad. It was mostly the Maul run that was just shit. That was mostly it.
I don't have Tuskens, and I'm done with this conversation.
Yep, we're moving swiftly on. Screw Tuskens. So next question comes from Zavel, or Zavel. With Jar Jar and the Gungans being the new top team for the raid, do you think that CG will delay the next GL to coincide with the following raid? Guess that assumes they will be continuing GL releases. Who wants to take this? Wolfie, you want to have a stab at this one, buddy?
We talked about that a little bit last week, I think, right? And this
we
GL
did a little bit, yeah.
Probably coming out October?
Yeah,
September, October, something like that. Whoever they end up being. And because it's coming after the raid, it would make no sense for it to interact with this raid.
Agreed.
So they would probably end up getting the next one. So if we think, summer, another 9 months after that. So we're looking, if we assume a July release, then we're getting like a March, April of next year. A year from now for the next raid. Then whatever other GL that is could work for this next raid. So I think it's probably a good chance. I don't think they're gonna start delaying the releases of the GLs. I think that they're probably in a good cadence for that, to have one a year and have them release around that September sort of area. So they may go like a little bit I mean, I don't say I don't mean like months and months and months. I mean like maybe September.
And
October,
just do what they did with when they released Jabba, right?
You get the most. Yeah. When was I forget exactly when Jabba was. He was September.
Jabba came out in October, and then 7 months later, not 7 months. That feels like a lot.
Yeah. It was
Well, actually, no, that was 7 months because it wasn't until May we got the new raid. So 7 months later, we had a new raid that required the GL. So, I mean, it's likely they'll do something similar to that again. But like you look at how they released Leia, Leia released. We knew the new raid was coming after she got into the game.
Yeah.
And we still had a couple of months between Leia's release and the raid going live.
Yeah.
So I don't think they will coincide it directly, but I mean, when you release a GL ahead of a raid, it needs a lot more lead time going into it, which is why I think they'll probably do more faction-based raid team releases, because that gives them an immediate reason to farm the faction, and B, it's far more lucrative for them to get their hands on and be a part of it, because
they pretty much know guarantee
bite.
that if they release or if they announce the release of a GL, that people are just going to go for that anyway, right? People are new GL comes out. If you have finished your GLs in particular, you'll be like, yeah, I'm going to get the new GL. I'm going to do it. They don't need to incentivize people going for a GL. People will just do it. Whereas a faction release, even like Gungans is probably a faction that a lot of people would get anyway, because it's very much a Marmite thing in Star Wars in general. You either love Gungans or you hate Gungans with a burning passion. So like, but a standard new faction that came to the game, a lot of people would be like, well, do I really need to get this? Who knows? I don't really care, whatever. But if they make it the featured faction for a new raid, then there's all of a sudden a big incentive to try and get it, especially if they then sweeten the pot with amazing new marquee setups like they've done for Boss Nass and the rest of the Gungans. So it drives engagement.
We're assuming the rest of the Gungans, we don't have they never promised.
It better be.
Yeah,
it better be.
I mean, I'm with you 100%. It better be, but I'm just trying to make it clear. They never promised that this was how those marquees were supposed to work. So it's like, it's what happens is that we infer things and we talk about it like it's going to be that way, and then it doesn't happen, and then everyone's bitching at CG that how dare they not? And I'm like, they never said they would. So it's like,
I think we've been careful with this one. We've been very much, we don't know, and we'll see. We hope they'll do this in the future. I think weeve been okay with this one.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I just
be careful.
I think Darth means we in the global sense of the Star Wars community, because we're very good at doing that. We're very good at getting annoyed.
It's just I like to keep the expectations within the reasonable realm. It's like it's like. There was like the way they released Leia, right? Because Leia was like just throwing characters at us.
Oh my god,
we had so many events, drawing shards out for the 4 marquees that require this. Like, CG, what are you doing? Because usually you're the opposite. Yeah, you're usually the opposite. You don't give us events that give us Zetas and give us character shards.
That was the really cool thing about those additive drops that they did for the Leia event, was that it incentivized the people that had already got the characters to 7-star. Like those Zeta drops were huge, man.
Yeah.
Like the
I was actually
really
surprised. Really surprised you didn't burst Kinesa faster
to
get more Zeta mass.
Yeah.
Kicking yourself for that decision, aren't you?
I was. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm glad that I did.
It was so good. Like for the day and a half that I had of it.
Yeah. It was for the day and a half that you still netted like
you get like
Zetas.
Easily. You do like full sims and you get like 7 Zetas immediately. Like, wow, okay. Can we have this event again, please? I would like this more.
I would like this once a month for a week.
Yeah. No, I'm still sticking to my 100 Zetas for 100 pennies deal with me. I'm gonna push my luck, baby.
Best of luck to you.
The next question comes from Yaron Fuzz Universe, and it's a very easy question. He says, "Is it possible / good to do the Reva mission with Reva?" Yes and yes. There you go. Moving on. Yes, you can.
You can? I always do it with 9th.
I do it with Reva. I don't even remod. I just go in and
I think with Reva, you have to be a little bit more like, you have to think about the abilities a little bit differently, but it doesn't.
I think 9th is technically better.
In theory, Reva performs better because she gets more
Well, she takes
the,
reduced damage from percentile health effects for one, and the revives. So.
Yes.
So she can't really be blown up or hurt by the dots.
No. So
there's just a lead, so it's force GI lead.
Yeah, that's the irritating part.
I haven't actually run it myself. I just run 9th because it's always worked for me, and I don't need to
which is fair
or anything. Yeah. But buddy of mine who I know has done a lot of testing and done a lot of that stuff has basically said that if you run it with Reva, and it goes well, it's fine. If it starts going to shit, then 9th is generally a little bit better for when things start going to shit. So if it's there anyways, I don't know. At this point, it doesn't really matter as much for us because we already have Reva.
Yeah.
So we don't really care all that much about remodding and doing the.
I will say that my Reva is also Relic 9. So like, I suppose that kind of helps a little bit, but I found it like I just take the exact same approach as I used to take, which is, you just wait until you got 6 stacks of Purge on the enemy leader Jawa dude, and then you do the torture, you get the tenacity up, and you win. And then, of course,
change the strategy at all.
No. Like, I think that's the biggest denominating factor, is if you take the right approach, you're going to win.
Yeah, exactly the same fight, exactly the same strategy. Get your 6 stacks, get your tenacity up, and then just start killing things. That's it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Yaron. We've got a question here from A. Abgehoben MC. I've just brutalized that name. With more teams against turn meter manipulation like Tuskens or DTMG, are CLS or Imp Troopers becoming less relevant? Oh, this is a deep loaded question.
The short answer is no. The long answer is Datacrons. Well, it's like
doubt.
Well, yeah, because that's what's gumming up the works right now. It's like you're talking about a couple of teams. They're not the hardest thing in the world to get around. You can put them down. It shuts off a counter, right? Oh well, you don't use CLS versus Tuskens. Use AdRad, and you still get rolled by rebels. Like, it's not the end of the world by any measure. It's just that the CLS has a hard time with that TM and stun locking and so many dots. But I mean, like right now,
Veers in particular, I mean, Veers has fallen off over the years. Like,
I do feel like that. Yeah.
Role. I mean, he used to be, oh my god, he's your Darth Revan killer, and he's like, that was the ultimate thing, and now Malgus is in.
But that's
I'm gonna use
because
Veers
of speed.
And that's like a lot of things like what Veers is relegated to at this point. But like you said, that gets changed with Datacrons. As soon as you give Imp Troopers Datacron, which gives them protection up at the start, so they have buffs at the start and can something keep the turn meter trend going, or the buffs on basics.
Well, yeah.
Give them discount, and suddenly they're just rolling.
Troopers. The only thing that troopers suffer from is the inability to be faster than teams that they used to be faster than. Like they used to kill DR because it was much easier to get your trooper team faster than Darth Revan is, even with talent. But you throw Malgus, who gives everyone plus 90 speed. It's like you're not outrunning that anymore. It doesn't matter what you try to do to do that, and that's basically what's happened to Veers in a nutshell. But I mean, when we got the set 11 cron that gave us the trooper benefits for getting the buffs on basic and everything else, I mean, Jesus Christ, they were chewing through GLs like none other. You could go beat Jabba with troopers for kicks and giggles sake and just melt it to the floor. So it's like
a lot of damage.
And with the right cron, you can be Jabba with CLS.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like
I remember that GPO cron. That was great.
That's the thing that I kind of get into is like what they can beat is going to be dependent on what Datacrons are in play. Because like right now, it's like you can't use them because any team that generates TM is dead in the water.
Well,
with
I mean, you can. You just don't take them against the dark side team at all. Take your CLS against Chirrutcron. Do that instead.
It dictates your targets a lot more. It says
still
you
get
against
wrecked.
these teams, you can't use against these teams. But that's how Datacrons are just functioning for the entire game. All right, we have these Datacrons in game. Suddenly these counters no longer work, and these counters do work, and now we're using this over here and this over there. So I mean, we're into the whole Datacron situation. So I mean,
The Datacrons will have a more direct impact on what does and doesn't work than the implementation of mechanics and teams, because there are only a few of them. The only real thing is that CLS has been the punching bag for the last like 3 or 4 faction releases, where it's like it beats CLS. It's like Phoenix comes out, it beats CLS. Ewoks come out, it beats CLS. You know, the new troopers come out and they just dunk on CLS. Like that was the whole point of like the Leia release, was just watching CLS get destroyed.
Yeah, but I mean, CLS has had plenty of years in the sun as well, where it's
for sure,
constantly relevant, constantly useful.
And CLS, he still kills a lot of things on offense.
He does.
He's still very good.
It's a fantastic team.
So to the original question, do Tuskens and those sort of things, say, oh my god, all these things suck now? It just means they have different targets. It just means that you need to choose your targets. Maybe you can't put them on defense. It just changes where they go as opposed to making them suck. So they're still relevant. They still do a lot of really good work.
Yeah,
just it's the right teams.
I very rarely get through a GAC with being like, oh man, I didn't use CLS. Yeah. Like there's always a team you need to outrun. It's just like, okay, well,
Hans
just not a dark side one.
Just incredibly useful. Just in
general.
And
the TM when you inflict debuffs is just like, all right, well, would be really cool if I did a ton of that. Oh wait, I do.
I do. Yeah, so very good. Next question is from Ryrock. Is it wise to spend crystals on Kelleran Beck and IG-12 shards since the drop rate has been trash, so I can be ready quicker for new bow? Or should I save the crystals to get more signal data from triple refresh and the packs? Oh my days. Okay, that's two very different things. One, you should be triple refreshing your cantina every single day regardless, forever, until you quit the game. Yeah. Like, never not triple refresh cantina. You need it, always. Secondly, that's a tough one. She's about to come next week, right? That's an interesting choice of word scribble. If you're going to make it in time,
long, jeez.
Next week. I mean, I'm working hard. If the only way you are ready for Bo-Katan Mandalore is by spending the crystals in the shipment store on Beck and IG-12, only you can really answer that question if you feel like it's worthwhile or not, because a week is not a lot of time to hard farm. You're talking maybe you get 5 shards a day if you're refreshing nodes. So in a week, maybe you get 35 shards of each, right? If you start pushing higher on the refresh rate, it starts to look more, attractive to shipment farm them instead. And then it just comes down to, do you have her Datacron? Are you going to be ready to Relic 5 plus her? It's a lot of ifs and buts there.
The short answer is
very personal question.
Yeah, very. I agree.
So the only reason I would push to unlock at this point, it's pretty apparent she's going to release every month. I don't see them changing that because they're going to have the new planet. But until the new planet gets announced, I don't see the purpose of jumping ahead like a month or something. It's like, you can just take the extra month. She's a great character. I won't argue that.
Oh yeah.
But she's an offensive oriented character. They do have some defensive viability because of her Quran set, but it's not like it's a make or break team. It's something you can easily just, swap out a GL in your defense for to compensate and work around it. So it's like, for most players, I can't say that it's something that you need to hardcore rush. Now, granted, the only thing I would hardcore rush out of that, if your guild is TW focused, is Kelleran Beck. Outside of that,
Kelleran Beck is so good, man.
I wouldn't worry about it. And so it's like, if you really want to have it this go around, then sure. But I mean, I can't justify going through and spending resources you don't need to spend right now with everything else coming up on the horizon. I mean, take the extra. If you've been farming Kelleran Beck since he went farmable, you should be somewhere out of the 85s. So it's like
side note on that to the question. There's a lot of tinfoil hats and conspiracy theories and everything. The drop rates in the characters is the same.
Yeah, it's always the same.
IG-12 has a great drop rate, and then oh no, my Mara Jade has a terrible drop rate, and then it's all the same.
Yeah.
Well, but drop rate is relative.
It feels bad sometimes, but
drop rate is relative to energy spent.
that's not for regular farms. That's just for like the chases and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. 5, like a hard node farm is a hard node farm. It's like a 33% drop rate.
Yeah.
That's just it. It doesn't
Whether
matter
you-
if that's
whether
a
you
10
spend
energy
20
hard
energy or
hard
12
node or a
energy.
20.
Oh,
It's
I thought it was
33%.
for.
That's never that's never been
Yeah.
different.
And it's same for every single cantina farm. That's why an 8 energy cantina farm, you sneeze and you finish them. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
done. But yeah,
not
for
'cause
a
you're gonna
chase,
bankrupt,
yeah,
yeah.
for a chase, it's definitely energy spent and stuff like that. So yeah, there's too much we don't know, I guess, Ryrock, around your account to suggest whether or not that's worthwhile, because it is very personal.
I mean, the short answer I would say is it's not wise to spend the crystals to accelerate Bo, because there's no real benefit to her besides you have another tool for offense. I don't think it's going to make a massive impact in your GAC performance. You're not going to win or lose a round because you didn't have Bo.
Completely agree.
Because the only way that that's the case is that you didn't account for that on your defensive plan. Like, you can work around anything in GAC with or without her. There's not a team that requires Bo to beat, and if you don't have it, you get locked out. So
I'm very disappointed because I've had Bo and nobody is setting Lord Vader on defense for me. I wonder why.
I set Lord Vader on defense, but it's for different reasons.
Yeah.
Because I want them to use Bo there. That's what I want. I don't want Bo to go anywhere else.
Okay, so we've got a couple of more questions, but they're in the chat, so I'm going to try and catch them. Do we all have Gar Saxon and Imp Superior Commando Relic? Yes, my Gar Saxon is Relic 9 and ISC is Relic 3. How about you guys?
5 and 5.
5 and 5.
8
Garth's
and
like,
9 and 9.
Garth's like Relic 10. Yeah, both of them.
No,
9, 9, 9, 9.
no, it's
Number 9.
Yeah.
8 and 9. ISC is 8 and Gar is 9.
Yeah. Next up, Aoi is asking, do you think we'll get any more Separatist units? I think that there's a chance we get one more Separatist unit, but it's not going to be this month. It's not going to be until after we get out of the Gungan Marquees, personally.
Yeah, I would agree with that. The Gungans, they got to push through to get the legendary event out in the world before the raid goes live. They could. My question just becomes, where do they go, right? Because it's either they do something to help Trench inside of GAC by putting Amis down, but I don't know if that's a team that the kits are so Trench's kit is so mechanically situated on the mechanics of the other Separatists that he uses that I don't see them adding another unit to that team that they want to use. I mean, so much of Trench's kit is built on the foundation of what the other ones offer. So I don't see them doing anything. We just got a lifter for Grievous inside of GAC, and I don't really see them bringing a Geonosian in. Like, that really seems unlikely.
I think they could bring in the other Nemoidian that works with Newt from the.
I mean, but who do you drop out of the? Who do you drop out of that Trench team then?
Django.
He's your tank.
You make him a tank. Like, that's.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough.
Or he works like GBA and he summons a tank, or whatever happens to be.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. That would be a more interesting mechanic. It's just how they've got everything set up. I don't know if they would.
Yeah.
And I would be more expectant of the B2 login reward being indicative of an Omicron being added, and less of
the only thing with that is I can't remember the last time they just threw an Omni on a character, rather than, hey, here's a new character, he has an Omni. When's the last time they went
over? I think
Wasn't
we
it
talked
Poggle?
about this last week. I think Poggle was the last one they
Yeah.
did. That was about a year
ISC.
ago. ISC didn't get an Omni.
He just got an update. Yeah.
Oh,
You got to rework.
And that actually goes back to why I think they would replace Django, is because Django can then go with Darkside Mandos. So because that makes a full team. But
Well, but that wasn't their intention. Their intention was to put Dark Trooper Moff Gideon with Maul Mandos.
Until they found out how good Gar and ISC are together. Oh my days. You just don't. You don't need anything. It's like I've just actually had a quick look at my opponent's defense in GAC, and he set gas with no Captain Rex, and I'm like, well, I guess Gar and ISC are coming off the bench, boys. Let's go.
Throw down some tenacity. Let's ride.
Yep, he doesn't have the potency cron, so I'm happy. Yeah, that's. I think it's possible we could get a separatist. The timing is going to be awkward because we need to get the Gungans out ASAP, back to back to back to back. Then we're going to have Queen Amidala, and she's supposed to have 2 Marquees to go with her. Well, we're assuming. They said 2 more Galactic Republic to join. I assume that means 2 more Marquees, which is 2 Marquees again. So that's like another month. So when are they going to find time for a separatist? That's the real thing, right? So I don't know. I'd like
it would be at the tail end of all of that. There's a possibility
exactly.
they bring it in, but again, my head just says no, because at that point we're going to be through May and into June by the time Amidala's conquest finishes. And at that point, unless CG is just scrapping the concept of pushing a GL or a capital ship, which I don't know why they would, because those are some of their biggest money makers. That during that time once that finishes in the end of May and we move into June's going to be when we start pivoting to the next, either the fleet or the next GL. Yeah. So it's like more likely the fleet first, to be honest, and then the GL after. But that means they're going to have to release any of the units that are going to be required for that fleet. They're going to release any of the ships that are required for that fleet and push all of that out in another short time frame to be ready for that next capital ship to be released. And so my guess is that once we finish with what they need for the new raid, we're going to immediately pivot into either the ship or the GL, and they're going to start releasing the Marquees for that, because that's how the GLs have been going, and they just keep adding multiple Marquees to a new GL. So basically they ship the team and then 10 other characters to go with it they've
got such a packed year. I don't know how they're going to fit it all in. Okay, next question is from It's Just Cowboy. I'm new to the game. Should I put a Zeta on GMY lead? We can do the whole short answer and long answer again, where the short answer is no and the long answer is no. Don't do
like how your mic cut out.
Mike was like, "Shut up."
Yeah, you're talking too loud. So no.
Are we doing the Sith raid and it's like right before we figured out that JKR is better? Then yes, absolutely do it. That's my justification where I did it, and I'm gonna pretend it was a good choice, and we're gonna move on from that one.
It's still a sore subject. All right, okay. I say that with a Bodhi Rook Zeta on a Gear 4 Bodhi Rook.
Yeah, man, I really want to make the GMY lead Zeta work. It's not good, but I feel
Karth
like
is about to talk about his Datacron now.
I feel like it has a chance to actually be good.
It does.
Interesting
it does, but it counters such a specific mechanic that it doesn't really make a good amount of sense, and there's just not enough support. It's like there's just not enough support with him to make it make sense.
Maybe once
but he's immune to shock.
Jedi Dooku will be good.
Yeah, there you go. We'll find some reason to split GMY from that the other Jedi teams.
I mean, GMY at this point, he used to be a good damage dealer. Now he's just like a little bouncy turn meter generator on a JML team.
He can still do decent damage. You just need to modify.
He can. I mean, really, what they need to do
in the world of Cam and all those sorts of dudes.
Comparatively, no, he doesn't. Yeah,
like he did good damage. In this day and age, he's been just fucking outclassed, left in the absolute dirt over there.
I mean, all they need to do is make what they need to do is make all GR Jedi allies immune to shock, and then they need to give them a new character that whenever they gain buffs or gain specifically the critical chance and critical damage up or tenacity up, the 3 buffs that his leadership gives, then have that do like they do with Fennec's kit, right? Whenever Fennec gains tenacity up, she gets stacking offense.
Right.
So they could do things like that, and that would really make the leadership far more viable.
What we're going to do is we're going to get We're going to get a leadership Omicron for GMY.
And then watch it get rolled by Tuskens.
Yeah, still.
Well, because whenever they resist a debuff, they gain 30% turn meter. And so there's going to be a lot of them. Whenever inflicted with a debuff, they gain tenacity up. So that would be a fun little...
Immune to stun. Done.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Immune to shock and immune to stun. We are unstoppable GMY bouncing around the hangar on Geonosis. Ready, go.
Boing, 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 boing,
Perfect.
boing,
Karth
boing.
gets it. He's on board.
Can't stun a target you can't hit. Ready, go.
Go. I love it. I'm not sure if I'm missing any further questions now, guys. I've tried my best to find them all.
You missed one from Datacron.
Oh, I missed one from Datacron.
Was that not intentional?
My son Cowboy is a little slow. I feel like I should get him tested. I mean, Desi, we should always try to embrace everybody in an equal and fair manner. I'm just really laying on the social justice warrior part here. But you like to live in denial. What would you recommend? I recommend that you embrace Cowboy in all of his forms. Do the right thing, Desi. Do the right thing.
Well, I mean, clearly, if he's just a little slow, you should just maybe have him go run some lines and see if you can get him to speed up.
When you said lines, I'm thinking of something entirely different.
White substance. Never.
We are definitely getting cancelled. Thank you, Desi. So thank you, Desi. Appreciate you for the question. God damn. What do you think of the idea of an underwater raid with 3 sea monsters from Naboo being the bosses? I would prefer that to what we're getting proposed, Lord Vader. Basically, I don't like the idea of I've said this before when the raid first came out, was that I want to reserve judgment until we've seen what we actually get. But the concept of the new raid does not sound appealing to me, just because it sounds like we're just facing waves of enemies again, and that's boring to me. I would rather fight big bosses rather than endless waves of random droids.
Completely agree with your evaluation there. I had played Marvel Strike Force for like a very a month or two, something like that. It got to be a little bit too grindy for me. I couldn't really get too much into it. Yeah. But I had played Swiggle for a while at that point, and I was like, oh, Marvel Strike Force has raids. I wonder what crazy awesome bosses will be like taken down as a guild. And then it's like you battle a node, and then there's like another node. It's like another node. It's like this is the raid. We're just doing like regular battles. This is fucking boring. Like, how would they call this a raid? Like, there's nothing. This is like Galactic War. This is what I'm fucking doing. Like, how is this supposed to be interesting?
And we all know how entertaining Galactic War is. It's like,
I want a big bad.
Best content in the game. Okay, best content in the game.
Freaking monster over there. Star Wars has its monsters. It is not shy away from its monsters. We absolutely got some good content over there. So make it happen.
Yeah. So it's one of those things, right? It's like I think my biggest concern is that I built up the idea of the raid in my head too much about what it could be. That there probably was very limited chance it would ever live up to my expectation. So, because like none of us here, I assume, are actual game producers that know what goes into planning and launching a raid for a game. So it's easy for us to sit back and go, yeah, it's easy. All you got to do is do this, this, and this, and just make it awesome. Yeah.
Just do the things.
Just do the stuff and make it good. Yeah. Yeah. It's easy for us to say that as consumers, but not from the perspective of game devs that have to go out there and build it and test it and launch it in a successful manner in a limited time schedule, you know? So we've got to try and remember that. So I'm hoping that the actual execution of this raid is a lot of fun, but I currently don't have a whole lot of. It sounds a little bit lackluster. It's like I don't want to just kill B1 droids and droidicas and maybe an AAT.
You don't want to chase 2 elite scout trooper units across the forest floor of Endor to stop them from alerting the Imperial allies? With your
whilst using Piet. Funnily enough,
I've already played the HAAT raid, which are.
I mean,
I would rather that.
B2 rocket droid and the AAT.
I would like.
With we've already done that, so let's.
I would like the raid to be against an MAAT. It's it's the thing that holds all the battle droids in the first movie.
Maybe that's what we have to kill.
That's what they use to deploy them. I mean, that would be far more interesting. Is that you have to kill the droids. When the droids go down, you get a brief window, like you do, like the ATST fight, right? In the Endor escalation.
Sure. Yeah.
You get a
got to
brief
kill the
window
units on the ground, and then you can attack it.
and then you can attack it. Then you go. Then they reinforce and go.
Mm.
I mean, that would be a more interesting way. And then you score bonus points when you're attacking that. So you want to save up all your big hit and whatever they want to do. It would at least be more interesting than what we're likely going to get, which is basically a ground version of the Endor raid, where it's just like I killed the B1 and another one. And 5,000 of them, and then I got 2.7 million in the raid.
Yeah,
and then we were done. We saved Naboo.
Yeah, we did it, guys. Yeah.
4 more times. Let's go.
There's an animation of the droids powering down. Yay, we won, guys!
That's probably what's going to literally be there too. Just
like
so
the opener will be
That's
a bunch of Gungans putting up a shield generator.
Yeah, no, that probably will be it too.
Yeah.
It's just Jar Jar pushing one of them down.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his gangly, lanky arms and legs just flailing everywhere, knocking into people, dropping boomers. Yeah, it's a shame. I just, I prefer the idea of Battle for Naboo just being one segment of it, and then we get to go to Theed, and then we get to go and face off against Maul. That would be cool, but we don't get that. I don't think.
No. It's
but
just
hey,
weird. This is what I don't get.
If just to really quick interject here, if we do get a Naboo planet, there is a chance that we could face the giant sea creature in one of the special missions, and that would be cool. Maybe it'll be a Qui-Gon Jinn and Jedi Obi.
No. Gungan's specific mission. We use the Gungans to go beat the stupid fish.
We'll definitely have a Gungan mission if we get a Naboo planet, because got to get people to invest in stuff somehow, right? Yeah. It'd be cool.
I mean, the thing is, though, like, just to address Essex's statement here real quick, is that they are more than capable of building such a raid because they built that raid for home. And yet, we don't implement the same feature. I think the reason why is because they want to limit time in game, and the home raid was literally for 4 days straight, you had to come do your 5 battles. Where I don't think that would translate well into.
There's too much that we do already, right?
You
can spend an inordinate amount of time in game as it is.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I don't think we'll see a change in our rating system. They're gonna be happier doing what they've done already, which is the Endor raid, which is like the Endor raid. Just besides the fact that it's boring, it was a vast improvement over the time in game spent raiding in the crate. So it's like you got to take the good with the bad. It's like I'd rather spend less time and get a good score than just be like, oh my god, an hour and a half later and I still haven't got my Cad Bane team to line up perfectly and win.
Maul has been eaten for the 17th time in a row today.
It's just not worth the headache. And so it's like I get it to a point. I understand the route they're headed with the new system, but what I really just don't want to ever have happen again is what they did with the Endor raid, which is they overwrote the abilities of the characters and the unit stats.
Yeah,
I'm like, no. The way we did crate would be a better way for this to work. Figure out a way for the points to work, but it's just like I don't ever want to go down that road again of just like, hey, your characters don't do anything. Which I mean, I get
they don't work like they normally work.
Yeah,
I get the modding doesn't work the same way.
Yeah, the positive on that, of course, is that characters that would be less useful now have a useful kit. But I'm like, yeah, but that seems arbitrary. You're telling me that Tebow is one of the best Ewoks to use instead of the ones I already have at Relics. I'm like, why would you do this to me? Like,
which is why we're gonna be getting that Eathcoth Kit Fisto I'm a gun die up the Relic 8, baby. They're gonna be the best in the new raid. You know it.
The one thing I will say
give GMY the raid on me.
Yeah.
While this raid was really dumb and simple and everything, it was really dumb and simple and everything, which means you needed to learn one strategy.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to go and learn how the Tusken run worked and how the Jabba run worked, and how the Maldorians run worked, and how this one and
the Old Republic one worked.
Strategy, as opposed to 5 different strategies. So
you need at least 2 characters that gain evasion up.
For somebody like me who wants to have a little bit more interesting stuff going on in the raid, that's a detraction. But for somebody who isn't as into the raids or doesn't want that level of complexity or whatever, that's a big bonus. I learn it once and I'm done. We
Yeah,
don't really think about it.
I
It's
do
just
like that.
Press these
Yeah.
buttons. Don't press those buttons. Awesome. I can do that.
Yep. Yep.
So
It's a
from
pretty
a guild perspective,
that is the
getting
good
people to
thing.
do
Right?
the runs. I mean, sorry, go on.
Well, no, that's all I was going to say. Is I completely agree with you. It's just like the simplicity of the raid means that you don't have to think so much, and 90% of your runs are going to play the same way. Like in my experience, you can get away with learning 2 types of raid. You, as in full Endor speed, you learn how to do the layer solo, and then you learn how to do Imperial Troopers with evasion, and that will get you like most of it. If you want to learn how to do a sideswipe team, it's not necessary at all, but it means you can get use out of your Jedi Knight Luke and your Chewbacca, where they might otherwise do trash, and that's it. Like you don't need to know anything more than that to basically max box the raid, which is cool.
So much easier for like having your entire guild learn how to do all the raid stuff and press the buttons properly.
Yeah.
Makes that part a significantly easier job. So the next run is probably gonna be more complicated. I'm looking forward to it, but having the whole guild learn everything is going to be another challenge and the fun part. So,
well, the biggest thing too is that I think with the next run starting is that unless you're whaling on the new marquees, like you're going to have 2 of your runs that are going to just be like, well, I did that run on tier 2 and got my 400 points, or 400,000 or whatever it ends up being, right? It's going to suck for a lot of people with that transition, but being such a marquee and new character dependent raid. I mean, if we're looking at 30 characters required for this raid as well, you're on the better part of needing a third of them are going to be from the new marquees and events and conquests. So
yeah,
that's going to be a big ask for a lot of players.
No, it is. I'm genuinely worried when this new raid drops about how many characters I'm going to have to relic, because it's going to be all like Qui-Gon Jinn. It'll be like one of the very few Galactic Republic Jedi characters that I have at relics, and he's not even relic 7, he's relic 5, man. Like, so I'm just worried that most of those Jedi are just gonna be awful. So it's Consular, Guardian, Ethkoth, Thymagundai, the works, man. Plo, maybe, hopefully Plo, because I wouldn't mind gearing Plo. But yeah,
why have you not geared Plo yet?
he's gear 11, but he's not relicked.
Oh man, relic 7 him, relic 8 him.
That's easier said than done, Wolfie. It's like,
I know it's easier said than done.
Put on all the Zetas and the Omicrons and relic 9 him now. Just do it. So yeah,
dude, he makes some of the ship counters. Like when you see a triple attacker on defense, the triple attacker executor, and I can just bring my Plo Koon and executor and negotiator that shit. It's so nice. It's such a smooth fight. You'll probably lose Plo, but it's such a fun fight. It's a good one. Yeah.
I mean, one day, I'll be able to. But I still like being in the position I am in my roster. It's nice having all the legendaries and then thinking, well, I should be able to start relicking up the obscure characters. But it does make me a little bit flop sweaty with like, oh my god, am I going to have enough resources to do this in time? Because that's a lot of business.
Yeah, that's how you get you.
That's how Carr feels every day. He's like, oh my god.
It's you just end up having to keep disciplining yourself into like knowing when CG has its natural lulls and when you'll be kind of safe to do side projects. But it's like, for the most part, it's like if you want to keep current on the legendaries and the events that are releasing, you need to hoard, sometimes 2 to 3 months worth of gear and sealed data and relic materials for that kind of stuff. And then when you get to that character, you blow through all of it and it's gone and you got to start over. And so it's like basically between now and probably like November, when they release hopefully either the last ship or GL for the year, like everything is just being hoarded for those events, because otherwise
crystals
you're going to
get to
the point. Well, yeah, but otherwise you just get stuck having to spend.
If it's a ship, it's kind of like, oh, yep. So I need my stash of 25,000 crystals.
Yeah, 2 vaults worth of crystals to go unlock the new ship day 1, 7 stars. I mean, it's just how it plays out, right? That's just how it's going to be. So it's like, for me, it's like you get a rare window where you can apply, a couple relic levels here and there on some stuff where there's no consequences for it. But like when you're in the position where I'm at, where arrow magnifiers are actually a resource you need to worry about.
Then when you're in the position where basically everything in your roster is at least relic 7,
I'm not there yet, but I've contemplated.
You're close though. You are close.
Yeah.
You know you're close.
10 away. I almost did it right before they announced the road ahead, to be honest with you.
Oh my days.
And then they announced the road ahead, and I'm like, no, I'm not.
You're like, what?
So
7 new marquees? Okay, I'll hold off.
yeah. Well, it's just the Electrum conductors, right? It's like I could spend all of them taking these 9 characters I don't care about to Relic 7, or I immediately have everything I need for the Gungans and the new stuff all in one go. So I'm like, yep, we're just gonna ignore those characters. There's a reason they're at the bottom of my roster. I don't see them very often.
Exactly. Saving crystals for me right now is very difficult as well. Now, all these Gungans coming out, I know, like, I need to be just like, throwing
Saving
crystals at those.
No. You need to be whoring yourself out more for the roster
reviews.
reviewing.
Yeah. It's working slowly. It's working slowly. We nearly hit that $100 mark, which is a vault, which translates into, what is it, like 12 whale packs essentially, which is probably it'll be enough to take me to 5 stars, I think. So with the marquee pack that I'm buying. So
well, and you'll need to buy the marquee pack just for the Omicron sake.
I mean, that's just a nice touch, I'll be honest. I like the 5 extra enemies.
Well, then if you get to 5 stars, you get another 2 for hitting 5 stars as well, and you get another 2 for hitting 7 stars. So it's like you can
miss out
get. Well, I mean, it just depends on how you want to rate. Because I mean,
it's a big investment.
I got Boss Nass to 6 stars with only going through about a vault's worth of crystals and then the marquee pack. So
you got pretty lucky on the drops then.
Well, no, it's how I did it. Because I got Boss Nass unlocked and at the 5-star mark. And so that and then I went and played the event and got all the shards from that. Yeah. And then I came back and did from the 60 because I was like 30 out of 65. And then I picked up the rest of them, and I got a couple of 10s, but that was mixed in with a couple of 5s as well. So
I got like when I did it for Boss Nass, I did like 3 or 4 7s, and I got 1 5. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can hit 6 stars, then you're guaranteed to hit 7 by the time the event ends.
And then you should also you'll also be able to play the extra mission for getting him to 7 stars. You'll get an extra round of rewards from doing the 7-star mission as well, which is nice.
If you finish the 7-star mission, you get Zetas and then 100 crystals. And then the Relic 5 mission grants you a Zeta every time you beat it, which is once a day, of course. So for me, the Relic 5 one is a very expensive take on the situation. If you need the Zetas, is it kind of worth it?
So all you're saying is I need to do a lot of roster reviews to just get them straight up to Relic 5 and start earning those extra Zeta mats. I hear you.
You just might need to bump your goal up by $50. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, as soon as I hit 100, I'll do another stretch goal on it. I'll be like, yep, stretch goal, keep going.
There you go. All right.
There we go.
But yeah, that's
describe something for those 3-week releases.
Especially with after
time.
Tarpals, I think that should be the way you run it. Just as somebody who spends, but I doubt we'll have the time to shipment farm them, and you're almost going to spend more money shipment farming those last 90 shards than if you just had gotten them in the early, because it's like they're giving away a ton of shards for these for Boss Nass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 55 for the unlock, and then you have the first tier gives 10, but you can't replay it, or gives 5.
We also had with Boss Nass, we also had the web store gifting us 5 shards as well on the first day. I'm hoping they still do that, because that's extra shards, man. Like, I'll take it.
Well, yeah. So if you finished all the way up to 6 stars in the first day, that was like another 40 some odd shards. And then by the time the event finished, you got another 90. So it's like you basically got half the shards for free.
Yeah, which is a heck of a lot. It's a really good way. I'm really hoping CG does this for every single marquee because it's just such a good way of releasing characters.
Well, and it incentivizes people to spend more.
Exactly.
Because
I would never otherwise. I wouldn't. It's just too crystal inefficient. Too much of a gamble.
But to only have to risk about a pack's or a vault's worth of crystals on it, which is what, like for me, I was going to do anyways, because I take most marquees to 5 stars out the gate.
Yeah.
So basically spending all of it instead of most of it, and getting there, then okay. But then I wind up with not having to spend that 6,800 crystals getting the shipment farm, and actually that would be twice that you do that. So you'd spend another vault getting him to 7 stars if you wanted to shipment farm them to 7 stars. And so it's like, all right, well, that just makes too much sense to do it this way. Like at the worst of it, I might spend $150 on crystals, but I'm still going to be cheaper than if I wait to shipment farm the rest of it.
And like we said, if you're really looking to get Jar Jar, it's unlikely. We feel it's unlikely that they're going to give us the luxury of time to farm these through shipments.
Oh yeah, no, not
the
gonna
last
exist.
marquee might not even be in shipments when Jar Jar launches, or it might be there for a week, which means unless you've already whaled a little bit, you're not going to get him to 7 stars.
Jar Jar's event comes Friday night, and the phalanx goes into shipments Wednesday, or Thursday.
Yeah,
it's like
because that's what they did. That's more or less what they did with Keller and Beck. So
pretty much.
No, Keller and Beck you had one refresh in between, but it wasn't by a hell of a lot. So you basically,
it was just the one,
you basically we got Keller and Beck added to shipments, and then the next week we got the Bo-Katan event.
Yeah.
So you had basically the one dip to buy. So if you weren't already 5 stars, you were going to just be.
I'm also pretty sure
Friday, it was after the refresh.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't find out she was actually coming until after that week had gone. So you had to have had the foresight to have already shipment farmed. Otherwise, there was just no chance. Well, I mean, there was a chance. You just had to whale a hell of a lot.
Buy more packs. That's all. That's all you had to do. Was just buy more packs.
Yeah.
Come on, just spend more.
It was crazy. But there we go. Easy money, for CG at least.
Yeah.
But I almost think that this way that they're doing it is even easier money for them. Like I think if we look at how about this to wrap up, what do you think the unlock will be for Jar Jar Binks? We had 918 of Bo Mando, her first release. What do you think it's going to be for Jar Jar?
Well, I think that Jar Jar is going to get a bit of an advantage just because he's the raid character, so he's going to have a little bit of a bump over there.
Mm-hmm.
First time around, I mean, we could say probably at least like 3,000. What? Right?
I mean, that would be fairly accurate given the .gg numbers, because right now you have 1,856 players have a 7-star boss NAS, and 1,226 have a 6-star boss NAS. And 5,812 have a 5-star boss NAS. I would assume that anybody who's got a 5-star and above is likely going to try to get the first pass of the character, because I'm going to assume most of the 3 and 4-star numbers are inflated because of the event itself giving out more shards.
I would probably say 6-star and above. You can reliably say would be going for the.
It's where I'm at.
For the first unlock.
Because
like 5-star, you may not be going for it. You're just like, let me get the $30 pack and get one of those. That's like a limited investment.
Yeah, but 5-star. The thing of it is though, is that 5 stars is still a relatively expensive.
Oh yeah.
Investment. But remember, this is the first one. So we'll.
Which is why I'm saying anybody with 5-star boss NAS is more than likely going to. Be ready for it, because you'll still have the other 2 marquees to finish when boss hits shipments.
I think we'll have boss will be ready, but I don't think it'll be fully ready.
Well,
fully ready for Jar Jar. They're saying how many people will be ready for Jar Jar, and how many initial unlocks do you think we'll be getting? I think around 3,000 is probably reasonable.
I mean,
that lines up with your 6-star and 7-star unlocks for boss now.
Yeah, that would be those. I would almost want to wager that we would be looking closer to. We might be looking closer to like 5,000 to 8,000 would be my guess. Yeah. Well, because it is a brand new team that's going to be acquired in the brand new raid that a lot of people are going to want to gun for quickly. So if you look at how many guilds are max boxing presently and don't want to step away from that, there's already going to be a few thousand players right there who are going to get that team online as soon as possible. So I would be more inclined to say that we're going to probably see like 5,000 on day one.
I'll go directly in between you two then, guys. I'll be the meat to your sandwich. I'll say 4K. 4K unlocks for Jar Jar. I think it's going to be much higher than what Bo was. Much higher.
Well, the event
that I agree.
already sets that up perfectly because it's so much easier to get the star count a little higher, or even get a good portion of the shards for free if you're willing to get them to 6 stars out the rip.
Yeah.
And if that's the same for the remaining 3 events, I mean, if people are going to be so close to getting it done, they're going to be more inclined to spend.
That FOMO is really going to kick in.
Yeah, because it's not like, oh man, Boss Nass is still only 4 stars and the events come live. Like, there's no way I'm going to get them. I'm going to have to spend so much money versus being like, well, Boss Nass is already Relic 5. Tarples is almost done farming. Well,
That's
maybe I just put a little bit. Yeah. They're not putting a millstone around your neck and throwing you into the water. They're just filling your pockets full of rocks. You can still swim.
Yeah,
but
that's kind of what we were talking about a little bit last
head
week,
down.
right? With this new sort of strategy, they were more trying to tap into people who are doing some light spending as opposed to those who are doing like the crazy
100%.
If they have more people who are going to be doing these packs as opposed to less people who are just doing the 7-star.
Well, it's like like if you can convince, like you have players like Nomad, right, who spent an ungodly amount.
You don't have players like Nomad. There's just Nomad. Like
that's fair. There's got to be a few. He can't be just by himself. Out of the player base, there's more. But you get one player like him that spends like that.
Yeah. And
then you compare it to if you could get the other like 400,000 accounts in the game to give you $5 or $1, like you make way more. So it's like it makes more sense to do. I mean, like the money they've made with Lightspeed bundles goes to show that that's the case. The value is off the chart. So anybody who's even remotely inclined to put money towards this game bought that pack.
Yeah,
and some of them bought multiples of those packs. So it's like I have a hard time saying that that's not their objective. Like they are definitely trying to get more players at the lower level to spend. And then the structure of the new marquee events is designed to target the new whales that are coming into the game because now they are being rewarded for spending that money by having an event that gives them materials they are desperately short on.
Yeah.
It's like you're going to walk away with 10 Zetas by taking this character 7 stars. You are already going to 7-star anyways. So now you have even a larger reason to do it. So I think that's going to be their mantra. I hope that the marquee style stays because that's
me too. It's so huge.
I'll spend another $30 on a marquee, but I'll walk away with day one unlocks.
And for me, it will be a case of I will spend on marquees. I never do that. Even if I was in my current position where I've finished all of the, journey guide characters, done all of them. Like, I still wouldn't spend on a marquee. I don't like it. I'd rather wait for at least shipments, most likely until it goes free-to-play farmable, before doing anything. I won't even buy the $30 pack. But this sort of marquee release really encourages me to do it. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll spend $30 here, and maybe I might even go so far as to buy a vault to get him up to 5 stars or something like that, which will end up in a 6-star unlock by the end of the day. To me, yeah, fuck, I'll do that. Hell yeah. So I'm hoping it stays, but we just don't know. It might be just one of those things that CG gives us, like, 8 sims on a hard node. That was so wonderful for like 6 months, and then they were just like, and it's gone. And you're like, what? No.
I wish they would at least bring that back for fleet. Because, and the reason for that is because fleet, or at least ships, are still not accelerated.
I know.
So, Mike, could you at least give us a little bit more flexibility farming? Which not a problem for me, but that's not the point.
There's what, a third of the ships is there are characters in
Yeah,
the game?
there's like
it's not as
67
big of a
ships.
problem. It's not as big of a problem.
It's actually, yeah, it's got to be much less. I think there's 67 ships in the game, and there's like 260 characters. So it's like, you know,
Like
a fifth, a sixth. It's crazy.
There's not as many ships you need to farm. Like I hear that brought up a good amount. Why aren't ships accelerated? Why aren't ships doing like all this crazy stuff?
And the other thing for ships as well, if you think about it, is new ships only ever come as galactic chases or as conquest ships, right?
Pretty much,
Well,
yeah,
but
you get a big
that's
start.
they found out a long time ago that they don't make money on ship marquees because there isn't a either the ship is powerful enough that it works at the 4 or 5 star unlock levels, or it's so useless until it's 7 stars that nobody wants to spend the money to get it there right away. And until they change how GAC worked, or when they introduced GAC, you know, fleet didn't mean anything. As long as you had the meta team, then you were fine.
Yep. I mean, I still maintain that you've got to keep up on top of your fleet metas, but once you're done, it's very. I don't want to say it's very easy to be done with fleet. It's not very easy. It's easier comparative to characters. It's much easier. Like I'm done with fleets because I have all of them at 7 star, but I could obviously have more relic levels on the pilots. But like we said, there's only 67.
R7 all your pilots, R8 all your pilots, R9 all your pilots. Get your R9 IG
88.
88. Yeah, come on. Join the club.
I would like that. I would like that. Just to have somebody use the stupid profundity counter and get no assists and then lose. Please.
No, but that happened to R5 too, so it's like it's not pertinent to that.
But
it'd make you feel better.
It would make me feel better. Yeah. So there's that. All right, gentlemen. Is there anything else you want to cover off before we wrap up this episode of Tribe Talks?
I think we pretty much hit everything. There was a lot of news. I mean, not a whole lot. There was a lot of stuff, and we hit it. We talked. We did this.
And things too.
Yes, all the things and the stuff have been achieved by us.
Yeah, they have. How about you, Garth?
Oh, I got nothing. I'm just staring at my GAC board and trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with everything.
Oh,
just win, Garth.
I mean,
you could just win.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad because he's only got 1 GL on the front walls, and it's Lord Vader, so I should be okay. But the main account, it's like, it's a mock Chromium player, so they're my same GP. Basically, everything in the account's the same, but it's like they have more R8s and R9s than I do by a good chunk. So it's just a lot of like, and they have all the crons. Like there's no like, oh, we don't have a Datacron on our Inquisitor team. Like, no, of course we got a Datacron on our Inquisitor team.
Of course, so. Datacrons. Yeah, we got like 16 of them. Enjoy. All right, cool. I'm going to see who we can raid into then. Thank you ever so much, listeners at home, and those of you listening on a podcast hosting website. Make sure you like the stream if you're watching on YouTube, and we'll see you all. No, we won't see you all next Sunday, actually. Carthrick has got a family meeting next Sunday, so he will not be around. And in the UK, it's actually Mother's Day next Sunday, so we might need to reschedule, Wolfie. So, yeah.
You won't see me at least next week, but you might see these other 2 buffoons.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go send you all over to Calvin. I imagine he's maybe potentially doing his GAC. So
he might be gacking. Ooh, Meathead's live too.
Meathead's live. Quick, go bother him. Ask him for more Marquee special stuff. Super.
Ask him for 100 Zeta mats for 100 pennies.
Yes, do it for me. Go ahead and ask Meathead for 100 Zeta mats for 100 pennies. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow night where we're going to be doing some GAC action. Peace out, big love, and thank y'all.